Chapter 79. Immediately, Xiaofan activated his saber intent and cut off all distracting thoughts in his mind. He focused and nurtured the medicinal power of the 7 days death-wishing pill in his body. Soon, he forgot about everything else. When Xiaofan opened his eyes again, it was already night time. In the sky, gems were embedded all over the place. Those were all unknown stars. They were magnificent and otherworldly. At this moment, Xiaofan was riding the flying sword tiger and flying 10,000 meters in the sky. Therefore, he felt that the stars were within reach, as if he could reach them with just a stretch of his hand. It was very magical. Gulp! The awkward sound coming from his stomach completely shattered this poetic and picturesque atmosphere. Xiaofan smiled and took out a roasted rabbit from his storage ring. He shouted at Fang Ling, who was standing on the tiger's head. "Senior brother Fang, do you want to eat something?" This time, Fang Ling was grateful. He turned around and walked over to sit opposite Xiaofan. His body emitted divine light and treasure light, and he had the temperament of an immortal. Xiaofan took out another roasted rabbit from his storage ring and passed it to Fang Ling. Fang Ling took the roasted rabbit and his body lit up with a 5-pointed star shape. Then, 2 bottles of fine wine appeared in his hands. He threw one bottle to Xiaofan. "Drink some wine." "Huh?" Xiaofan caught the wine bottle and looked at Fang Ling in a daze. Fang Ling explained, "After reaching the true Qi realm, there is no need to use external objects to store items. The true acupoints in your body can store endless items. Xiaofan, in fact, every true acupoint is a huge space." "How magical!" Xiaofan sighed in admiration again. The two drank and ate the roasted rabbit. "Xiaofan, since we are free, let me remind you of something," Fang Ling said with a slightly serious tone. "Senior brother Fang, please speak." Xiaofan listened attentively. "Xiaofan, go to a desolate city in the western region and kill Demon Monarch Qinglin. My plan is to use the enormous pressure of Demon Monarch Qinglin to force you to complete the blood transformation and open your true acupoints. After you consumed the 7-day death-wishing pill, your entire body's spirit tensed up and expanded. Your potential reached its peak, and your life reached its most intense moment between life and death. At that time, you will need to add fuel to the fire, to completely explode your inflated mind. At that time, you might be able to sense the true acupoints. What you need to do is to use the formless saber intent to break open the true acupoints." Fang Ling pointed at a spot 3 inches below his heart. "Xiaofan, remember, the location of the first true meridian is here. N." Xiaofan also used his hand to press 3 inches below his heart. He closed his eyes and nodded. "Senior brother Fang, I'll remember this. After the first acupoint is opened, you will officially step into the Zhenqi realm. From then on, you will be able to accurately sense the location of each acupoint. Generally speaking, after breaking through the first acupoint, one would continuously break through several acupoints in one go. However, the number of true acupoints that were opened for the first time was definitely less than 11. It's impossible to step into the second level of the Zhenqi realm right after stepping into the Zhenqi realm. Breaking through 1 to 10 true acupoints is the first level of the Zhenqi realm. Breaking through 11 to 20 true acupoints is the second level of the Zhenqi realm. Among them, the 11th true acupoint is a sturdy barrier. It's a bottleneck. How many true acupoints you can break after stepping into the first level of the Zhenqi realm depends on your life potential, bloodline talent, and mental cultivation. I remember when I first stepped into the Zhenqi realm, after breaking through the first true acupoint, I broke through 6 true acupoints in a row before stopping. Speaking of which, I should be considered an average talent. It's said that some high-level heroes and geniuses can break through 9 true acupoints consecutively the first time they break through the first level of the Zhenqi realm. That's considered a monster of the highest quality. Fang Ling went on and on. "Xiaofan, before we fight Demon Monarch Qinglin, use the demonic aura and pressure he emits to force your way through. It's also very dangerous. When the time comes, I won't help you block the demonic aura that surges into my direction. If you can't withstand it, you might explode and die, Fang Ling said solemnly. Xiaofan subconsciously touched his heart and thought to himself, withstand the demonic aura? I'm blessed with the ability to do so. However, the demonic aura emitted by a demon monarch at his peak must be extremely ferocious. It's unknown whether the strange thing hibernating in my heart can withstand it. But I still have the indestructible golden body to protect me. I can still fight. Senior brother Fang, I'll do my best. In short, I still have a few days left in my life. I've already thrown caution to the wind. If I don't succeed, I'll just be shattered by the demonic aura and pressure of Demon Monarch Qinglin, Xiaofan said resolutely. Yes, it's a good thing that you have the determination to go all out. Fang Ling nodded. Then, Fang Ling continued. Xiaofan, when you successfully break through the Jinqi acupoints and advance to the Jinqi realm, there will be a period where you have to be extremely cautious and tread on thin ice. Because at that time, you haven't been able to cultivate a Jinqi cultivation method and infuse your Jinqi into the Jinqi acupoints. Your Jinqi acupoints are empty, so your offensive and defensive abilities won't improve much compared to when you were in the physical body realm. It's just that your mental state and ability to think will change. It can be said that this is a period of time. If you're killed by humans or demons during this period, you'll be a fool. You won't be able to rest in peace even if you die. Yes, he had gone through so much to break through the Jinqi acupoints. If he died at this time, it would be a great regret. Senior brother Fang, after hearing what you said, it's true. If I don't advance to the Jinqi realm and die just like that, it's nothing. But if I die after advancing because I don't have time to infuse my Jinqi, it'll be a great misfortune. Xiaohan's heart palpitated when he thought of this situation. He was worried that it would happen to him and quickly reminded himself to be careful. Xiaofan, listen to me. When Demon Monarch Qinglin makes his move, regardless of whether you've broken through the Jinqi acupoints or not, I'll definitely send you away from that area with my Jinqi. You won't be able to stay and watch the battle. A slight shockwave from a battle of that level would be enough to crush you. Remember, if you succeed in advancing to the Jinqi realm, you must find a place to hide. Don't make a fuss and wait for me to come find you. If you fail, then find a good place to bury yourself. Xiaofan was speechless. He then nodded. Senior brother Fang, I understand. Suddenly, Fang Ling's gaze looked towards the distant end of the night sky as he spoke in frustration. There's a third possibility. That is, I'll be killed by Demon Monarch Qinglin in this battle. Xiaofan, if you advance to the Jinqi realm, find a quiet place to hide for 3 days. If I don't find you after 3 days, find a way to return to the Cloud Rain sect. Senior brother Fang, how can you die in battle? With so many demon heroes working together, you'll definitely be able to kill Demon Monarch Qinglin. You'll return victorious. Xiaofan quickly said. Fang Ling shook his head and laughed. Xiaofan, do you know that the Bei Xian demon monarch's injuries were exchanged with the death of 11 demon heroes? Demon Monarch Qinglin's attack power is even stronger than that of the Bei Xian demon monarch. Once the demon blade is drawn, not even a blade of grass will survive, he murmured as he looked at the true Qi silhouettes that were like shooting stars in the night sky. This time, I wonder how many demon heroes will be buried in the desert of the western region, forever losing the chance to return home. As soon as he finished speaking, a sharp sword gleam flashed across Fang Ling's eyes. There was even a sword intent that forcefully sliced apart the negative emotions and eliminated all distracting thoughts. He sat cross-legged and was as calm as a waterway. Xiaofan, I'll nurture my sword intent now to make the final preparations for the battle. You should also focus on the medicinal effect in your body. Yes, senior brother Fang. Xiaofan also activated his sword intent to eliminate all distracting thoughts. He emptied his mind and forgot about everything else. Morning. There were only 5 days left before Xiaofan's death. At this moment, Xiaofan's entire body felt uneasy as if he was sitting on pins and needles. His spirit was as tense as a bowstring and kept expanding. His 5 senses became extraordinarily sharp and the potential in his life was stimulated to the extreme. It caused the precious medicine that settled in Xiaofan's blood to dissolve continuously, speeding up the process of blood transfusion. The quality of his physical body unknowingly increased. Senior Brother Fang, I feel that the medicinal power of the 7 days death-wishing pill has completely spread throughout my body. Right now, the gloomy aura of death in my body is becoming denser and denser. However, my reaction speed, thinking ability, and judgment ability have all been greatly enhanced. This is what you meant by, when one's mental state is stretched to its peak, the potential of one's life will burst forth like a flood. My premonition towards danger has also been enhanced. I can clearly sense even the slightest movement of a blade of grass in the wind. Xiaofan nervously said to Fang Ling, who was standing on the tiger's head with his hands behind his back. Yes, it is this state that allows you to be clearer and more penetrating. You can vividly sense the aura of danger that is about to come. When your spirit explodes, you will have the illusion that your soul has left your body. At that time, use your saber intent to eliminate all distracting thoughts and make your spirit flawless. Sense the location of the true acupoint. Remember the location of the first true acupoint that I told you. Fang Ling patiently advised. Senior Brother Fang, I know. Xiaofan subconsciously touched the location 3 inches below his heart. I have already firmly imprinted the location of the first true acupoint in my mind. I won't forget it even if I die. That's good. Alright, we have arrived at the west region. With a thought from Fang Ling, the flying sword tiger dived downwards in an instant. Xiaofan hurriedly extended his head to take a look. Below him was a stretch of deep yellow. It was a vast and boundless desert. Boundless and boundless. Extremely desolate. In the middle of the desert, there were also some jade-like oases. There were also various human kingdoms of various sizes. The flying sword tiger descended by several thousand meters and suddenly increased its speed. It tore through the air and flew forward swiftly. Xiaohan looked to his left and right. There were many great experts of the true Qi realm. They were either riding on rays of light, or riding on dragons, or riding on swords. All of them were heading in the same direction. Their speed was too fast. Xiaohan could not clearly see the appearances of these true Qi realm experts. However, he could feel the soaring aura and boiling battle intent from their bodies. After several hours, the flying sword tiger descended again. Furthermore, its flying speed began to slow down. Suddenly, the strange thing that was hibernating at the location of Xiaohan's heart began to turn slowly. Xiaohan glanced sideways at Fang Ling. Fang Ling narrowed his eyes, took a deep breath, and murmured. I'm almost there. At this moment, all the nerves in Xiaohan's body began to bulge. Even his mental energy was producing a popping sound. A huge sense of danger began to envelop Xiaohan. Who? My mental energy is getting more and more excited. It's as if it will explode at any moment. Let's sense the true acupoint. Now, let's sense the true acupoint. Xiaohan did not dare to be negligent. He sat cross-legged and sank his mental energy into a position 3 inches below his heart. He concentrated and began to sense. That place should be the first true acupoint of the human body. However, at this moment, it was silent and lifeless, like a pool of stagnant water. Not long after, at the end of the horizon, behind the rising and falling sand dunes, a desolate city appeared. A glass-like light pillar soared into the sky. It broke through the air and enveloped the entire city. Under the reflection of the sun and the sand, the glass-like light pillar glowed with a gorgeous rainbow. However, it was not a beautiful sight. It was demonic aura. A real demonic aura. The pressure on Xiaofan's body increased. The thing that was hibernating in his heart began to turn like a motor, dissolving the demonic aura. Bang 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 bang. Xiaofan's heart was beating wildly, madly pounding against his chest. His temples were slightly throbbing. He even felt a little suffocated. However, at this moment, what? I feel some signs. Suddenly, in this almost dangerous atmosphere, the position of the first true acupoint, which had been silent all this time, started to throb slightly. However, this subtle feeling disappeared in a flash. Xiaofan did not catch too much of it. I really feel the traces of the first true acupoint. However, the pressure is not enough. Xiaofan opened his eyes. At this moment, the flying sword tiger had stopped flying. It was dozens of meters above the ground, floating in the air. Fang Ling stood proudly on the tiger's head. Sword chi surged all over his body, and he was as steady as a rock. His eyes were fixed on the desolate city in front of him. Clang, the long sword on Fang Ling's back let out a sword whistle. At the same time, dozens of demon warriors had already taken their positions and surrounded the desolate city. The desolate city was dead silent. It seemed that there was no longer any vitality in it. However, the overwhelming demonic aura indicated that there was a powerful demon in the city. It was Demon Emperor Qing Lin with boundless demonic power. Swoosh! Another Wuxia flew over from the horizon. His whole body was overflowing with divine light, and he carried a long spear on his back. He remained silent and nodded to greet the few Wuxia he was familiar with. Then, he stood in his position. Bang! A saber light appeared and tore the sky apart. It slashed across the desert. The saber chi was violent, and thousands of tons of yellow sand were swept up. A yellow-robed swordsman in his 30s with a simple face stepped on the air and came over. The formless saber chi continuously cut through the white clouds, and a path was formed. Under the saber chi, even the formless air was separated like water. Buzz! Xiaofan only felt that his saber intent and saber force were being suppressed. He felt so aggrieved that he wanted to vomit blood. Peerless swordsman. This yellow-robed swordsman must have comprehended a stronger saber intent than me. Xiaofan thought to himself. The yellow-robed swordsman carried a broken saber on his back. He had a domineering aura. He walked straight to Fang Ling and said expressionlessly. "You're here." "Just arrived," Fang Ling replied. The yellow-robed swordsman looked deeply at Fang Ling. On his calm face was a pair of gem-like eyes. That pair of eyes gave off a peerless saber intent. "Your sword intent is getting sharper. I hope that I can fight with you for 3 days and 3 nights next time. That would be delightful. A peerless swordsman like you always makes me itch to fight. A year ago, I obtained a saber manual. Perhaps, you are no longer a match for me now. However, to determine the victor, we will have to exchange more than 1,000 moves. Just thinking about it makes me happy." Likewise, Fang Ling said indifferently. "This time, don't die in battle." The yellow-robed swordsman nodded slightly. "I'll try my best." "You should try your best to survive. Without an opponent like you, I will inevitably be lonely in the future." Fang Ling and the yellow-robed swordsman looked at each other. In the next moment, they actually laughed at the same time. Both of them stretched out their hands at the same time and held each other's hands. Soon, they let go. This battle will be very difficult. It is unavoidable that some people will die. The yellow-robed swordsman shook his head. Suddenly, he looked at Xiaofan and said emotionally. "This young man, not bad at all. Fang Ling, give this young man to me. Let him be my disciple. I will teach him the peerless saber technique. He has his own path." Fang Ling refused flatly. The yellow-robed swordsman looked disappointed. Then, he smiled at Xiaofan for the first time. Young man, cultivate well." After saying that, he walked away without turning his head back and stood in a position. The atmosphere was getting more and more tense. The desolate city seemed to be getting quieter and weirder. Xiaofan's mouth was dry and his heart was beating like a drum. He looked around and saw that among the dozens of evil heroes, the middle-aged man who was sleeping in the tornado, the middle-aged man with electric arcs shooting out of his eyes like a thunder god, and the naturally seductive An Fei had arrived. Their expressions were as if they were facing a great enemy. At this moment, "Everyone, you have come here from far away to be killed by me. Thank you for your hard work," an extremely elegant voice came from the desolate city. Boom! The strange thing that was dormant in Xiaofan's heart swelled violently. A violent sense of crisis covered Xiaofan all of a sudden. It made Xiaofan feel like his spirit was about to explode. "Xiaofan. Demon Emperor Qing Lin is about to come out. I will not resist the demonic aura and pressure that is rushing towards my direction. You will bear it all yourself. Start sensing the true acupoints." Fang Ling roared at Xiaofan in a stern voice. "Yes." Xiaofan sat cross-legged facing the desolate city. His face was solemn. At the next moment, whoosh whoosh whoosh, 999 rays of light and 999 rays of auspicious aura ran through the east, west, south, and north, intertwining like a net. Dense flower petals rained down from the sky. A young man in a snow-white robe slowly rose from the desolate city. He bathed in the multicolored light, auspicious qi, and glazed beams of light. He stood out from the crowd, extraordinary and refined. His bearing was simply calm and unruffled. He floated in the air with his back straight. His hands were empty and he had no weapon. It was actually a young man, and he looked like a human, not a demon at all. He was about 25 or 26 years old. His face was as beautiful as jade, and his facial features were very delicate. His black hair was loosely draped over his shoulders. His hair was soft and light. He gave off a sense of tranquility, like a jade tree made of snow. However, his eyes were blood-red. He had demonic red eyes. These blood-red eyes were like a sea of blood, as if they could swallow a person in an instant. It was extremely terrifying. Demon Emperor Qing Lin. This was the fearsome Demon Emperor Qing Lin with boundless demonic power. Not only did he not feel any discomfort when facing dozens of demon heroes, he became more and more at ease. The situation was extremely strange. Hong hong hong, the thing that had been dormant in Xiaofan's heart surged like a tidal wave. It resisted Qing Lin Demon Monarch's aura with great difficulty and dissolved the massive demonic aura that swept everything away. At the same time, his spirit swelled to the limit, as if it was about to explode in an instant. His entire body was drenched in cold sweat, and his breathing was labored as he trembled non-stop. "Xiaofan. Begin sensing the true acupoints." Fang Ling's voice exploded in Xiaofan's ears. "P.S. It's 3:30. I really can't afford to be hurt." Chapter 80. Dozens of fiendish warriors unleashed their natal true qi. Beams of divine light, precious light, and multicolored clouds fought against the fiendish qi. Demon Emperor Qing Lin was clean and clean. He had a delicate and elegant smile on his face. However, his blood-red demonic eyes released endless craftiness and bloodlust. Normally, as long as a physical body realm martial artist was in such a bloody environment filled with demonic aura, unless there was a true Qi realm expert to help him resist the demonic aura, he would instantly shatter like a piece of porcelain. However, Xiaofan's physical body was extremely refined and he had taken the 7-day death-wishing pill. His life force might be able to last longer, but his life was still hanging by a thread. Fang Ling wanted Xiaofan to forcefully break through his true meridians under such pressure. The degree of danger was not something that could be explained in a few words. Xiaofan at this moment, Xiaofan sat cross-legged on the tiger's back. His eyes seemed empty and he seemed to be thinking but not thinking. Fang Ling opened his body and released the demonic aura that was supposed to be resisted by him onto Xiaohan's body. Ah! My spirit is about to explode. My physical body can't take it anymore. What a terrifying pressure. It's like facing an ancient Swanni. Xiaohan was enduring inhuman pain and suffering. Soon, blood seeped out of his eyes, ears, mouth, and nose. Rumble, 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 the strange thing that was hibernating in his heart moved like a motor, dissolving the demonic aura. However, the speed of dissolving was far slower than the speed of the demonic aura invading Xiaohan's body. Goo 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 goo, suddenly. Xiaohan's body swelled up like a balloon. Then, it deflated and deflated. Then, it swelled up again and deflated again. The cycle repeated itself. Fang Ling, that young man is about to explode. The yellow-clothed swordsman whispered to Fang Ling, "What are you doing? Do you think a physical body realm martial artist can withstand the pressure of a demon emperor? Don't play with fire. Quickly help him block the demonic aura. Otherwise, he will explode into ashes in an instant." Fang Ling did not say anything. He looked at Xiaohan sternly. Cold sweat seeped out of his forehead. How could he not know the danger he was in at this moment? "Xiaohan, let's see if you can pull through." Fang Ling thought to himself. Damn it! It was about to burst. Invincible golden body, wash for this daddy. Xiaohan bit the tip of his tongue. Under the pain, his life force was stimulated once again. The abundant vitality in his body surged like a tide. Under the cleansing of the inextinguishable golden body, the violent demonic aura that invaded his body was somewhat alleviated. Immediately after, Xiaohan brought out his invisible saber intent and continuously shattered the demonic aura that enveloped him. He also tried to communicate with the demon monarch palm tattoo on his left arm to share the pressure. However, the demon monarch palm tattoo seemed to be defective, or it could only be used to kill demons and absorb their blood essence. Therefore, at this moment, it did not help Xiaohan absorb the demon qi around him. However, the inextinguishable golden body and saber intent worked together with the strange thing in his heart, greatly alleviating the danger of his body exploding. The next moment, the inflated body, after being castrated, actually no longer swelled. Oh! This little guy actually made it through? The group of demon warriors observed the strange Xiaohan with the corner of their eyes. What a strong vitality and flesh shell! Xiaohan! He had to seize the moment and sense the true acupoints. You won't be able to hold on for long. Furthermore, Demon Emperor Qing Lin might launch a sky-shattering attack at any time. Fang Ling roared. Sense the true acupoint. Sense the true acupoint. Xiaohan's mind continued to expand, and he actually had the illusion that his soul had left his body. Shockingly. 3 inches below his heart, Xiaohan vaguely saw a 5-pointed star that was emitting a blurry light. It was a 5-pointed star that contained a strange space. Could this be the true acupoint? This is the true acupoint? Xiaohan was neither sad nor happy. His body swelled up again, but he had already turned a deaf ear to it. His mind was completely immersed in the blurry 5-pointed star. However, the 5-pointed star was fleeting, and it disappeared in an instant. Damn it! I didn't seize this fleeting opportunity. But it's already a huge improvement. Again. Xiaohan's 7 orifices continued to spurt blood, and layers of bloody mist burst out from the surface of his skin. He looked extremely hideous, and he could die at any time. At this moment, you bunch of monsters are really overestimating yourselves. Demon Emperor Qing Lin smiled faintly. I heard that the idiot Bei Xian Demon Emperor was besieged by a group of monsters a while ago, and he escaped with serious injuries. TSK, what a disgrace to us high-level monsters. Don't think that I'm as useless as the Bei Xian Demon Emperor. All the monsters that came today will die. The demonic qi around Demon Emperor Qing Lin suddenly increased again. The terrifying demonic qi was getting thicker and thicker, and it was almost solidifying. Some of the weaker monsters were shocked by the aura and took a step back, their faces turning pale. The encirclement created by dozens of fiend heroes began to lose ground, and a flaw began to appear. It was almost disintegrating. The monsters looked at each other and were ready to fight to the death. At this moment, TSK. Demon Emperor Qing Lin, who do you think you are? Today, you will die without a doubt. A voice filled with terrifying confidence descended from the sky. Boom! A blazing sun fell from 10,000 meters high in the sky. The scorching sun illuminated the world, magnificent and brilliant. Everywhere it passed, the demonic qi was burned and melted. The sun landed and turned into thousands of rays of divine light, entering the body of a dignified man. The man was wearing a golden robe, and his face looked like it was carved out of stone. He was cold and resolute, and his eyes were like a heavenly king, as if he was born to attract light. As soon as he appeared, it was as if he was the only person in the world. He was filled with invincible spirit and confidence. The smell of spring and autumn rose into the sky. In an instant, a sonorous hymn rushed out of the man's body. Golden sunlight shone in all directions, and in each ray of sunlight, one could vaguely see the shadows of countless living beings praying and worshipping. Purifying the demonic qi, bringing life and hope. The great Son of Heaven is here. The group of swordsmen cheered up and shouted in unison. Their declining fighting spirit was once again raised. The sunlight and him washed away the fear and shadows in the hearts of the monsters, giving them the belief that they would win. Demon Emperor Qing Lin's expression finally changed. The great Son of Heaven. Known as the 100,000 Demon Slayers. An all-powerful big shot on the demon hero list. I didn't expect that you would also come. Good. Good. Very good. Today, I'll let you, a big shot, fall under my world-destroying demon blade. Demon Emperor Qing Lin put his palms together. Pft. 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 Countless red tentacles rushed out of Demon Emperor Qing Lin's body. Each tentacle was 30 meters long, swaying and full of barbs, emitting a destructive demonic light and evil demonic qi. A red scimitar appeared in Demon Emperor Qing Lin's right hand. The scimitar was covered with evil ancient demon runes, and there was an eyeball embedded in it that was blinking slightly. The eyeball was so demonic that it seemed like it was going to devour everything in the world. Traces of light were devoured by the eyeball on the scimitar, and the entire desert gradually became dark. He finally took out the world-destroying demon blade. I've been wanting to see it for a long time. A blazing sun rushed out from the head of the great Sun Emperor, and the divine light was dense like a tide. A god sat cross-legged in the blazing sun with his eyes closed, but terrifying majesty and power were brewing within him. Dozens of fiendish heroes were preparing their strongest attacks. The world-shocking battle was about to begin. The world became quiet. At this moment, a heart-wrenching scream rose into the sky, breaking the silence before the battle. Xiaofan, who was sitting on the back of the flying sword tiger, had expanded to the size of half an acre. He looked like a meatball that was about to explode. After Demon Emperor Qing Lin took out the world-destroying demon blade, Xiaofan, who was at the physical body realm, finally could not withstand the pressure anymore. His mind was about to explode, and his body was about to be destroyed. In a flash. The location of the first true acupoint. I found it. Blade intent, slash. Xiaofan ignited the inextinguishable golden body in his body, and the strange thing that was hibernating in his heart started to move at the fastest speed. All of this bought Xiaofan a breath of time. Boom! The blade intent that could slash through the void directly struck the first true acupoint. At the next moment, Ka, a crisp sound was heard, as if an eggshell had cracked. Xiaohan's first true acupoint had been opened. 3 inches below Xiaohan's heart, there was a 5-pointed star that was emitting rays of light. Success! I, Xiaohan, have succeeded. At the moment of death, my true acupoint has been completely broken, and I've reached the true Qi realm. Xiaohan's hot tears flowed down his face. Then, Xiaohan's inflated body deflated and returned to normal. His body was covered in blood. What? At the same time, Demon Emperor Qing Lin's crimson eyes emitted a dazzling demonic light, and he shouted at Xiaohan. What are you hiding on your body? Come here now. Xiao, a feeler instantly extended to 100 zhang long, and like a long whip, it swept towards Xiaohan. The demonic aura broke through the air, and a blood-curdling scream could be heard. In the blink of an eye. Don't even think of touching him. The sword light around Fang Ling shone brightly, and a huge sword lotus rose from his head. The violent sword aura, along with the sword intent that could slash through the void, pierced through heaven and earth, and cut through all living things. The sword lotus flew out at a speed faster than the speed of sound, and slashed at the red feeler that was wrapping around Xiaohan. Puchi! The feeler shattered. At the next moment, Xiaohan, go. Remember, find a place to hide, and don't make a scene. Wait for me for 3 days. Fang Ling grabbed Xiaohan with his right hand, and threw him in the opposite direction. Come back here. Demon Emperor Qing Lin's demonic blade shook, and a demonic red blade radiance slashed out. Everywhere it passed, the space was distorted, and the void was shattered. The fragments of space and light were absorbed by the blade radiance, and its speed was several times faster than the speed of sound. In the blink of an eye, it was about to crush Xiaohan. Ha 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 ha. Demon Emperor Qing Lin, your opponent is me. The great Sun Emperor also moved. In the blazing sun above his head, the god that was entrenched in the sun suddenly stretched out a palm and grabbed the red blade radiance. The palm was formed by pure sunlight, and it was enshrouded in ancient and great runes. It was surrounded by hymns and true fire, and it was almost invincible. As for Xiaohan, he was sent flying a few hundred li away by Fang Ling's true qi. Just as he landed on the ground, there was a cracking sound, and the second acupoint in Xiaohan's body was opened. Then, crack, 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 one after another, the true acupoints exploded without end. P.S. Xiaohan has finally reached the true qi realm. Ha ha ha. He broke through before he died. Chapter 81. Ascending to the heavens in a single bound. Just as senior brother Fang had said, after the first acupoint was opened, the second acupoint, the third acupoint, exploded continuously. In the blink of an eye, Xiaohan had continuously blasted 9 of his acupoints. Only then did he stop and calm down. What? I actually exploded a total of 9 acupoints? This is unbelievable. I heard from senior brother Fang that when he first entered the true qi realm, he was only able to open 6 acupoints. Only some of the most talented experts are able to open 9 acupoints. Such people are as rare as phoenix feathers and qilin horns. Opening acupoints is related to the foundation of one's body, mental strength, and innate talent. It seems like it's because of my tough body and the fact that I'm a transmigrator, my soul is blessed by the heavens. However, let's not worry about this for now. In the next moment, Xiaohan's mind moved slightly. Xiao 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 xiao, 9 glowing 5-pointed stars flew out of Xiaohan's body and hovered around him. Xiaohan's soul had an inseparable connection with these 9 5-pointed stars. They were like a part of Xiaohan's body. Every 5-pointed star had its own space that could store anything. Of course, the most important thing was to store true qi. However, Xiaohan did not cultivate any true qi cultivation method at the moment. Thus, the 9 acupoints were completely empty, with nothing inside. This feeling was as if Xiaofan had bought 9 luxurious residences, but the 4 walls were bare, without any furniture or ornaments. However, Xiaofan's mental strength and the way his thoughts operated had indeed undergone a transformation. Xiaofan's eyes and ears were sharp and attentive. The colors of the entire world became more distinct. Xiaofan could hear the sand scorpions and snakes moving under the sand in the distance. He could see a few grains of sand floating in the air 10 zhang away. He could even sense people's gazes. If someone was spying on him from behind, he would definitely be able to sense it. Xiaofan raised his right hand and casually slashed out with a knife hand, shooting out saber qi. All of a sudden, the saber qi stopped and changed its trajectory. The saber qi that was supposed to be moving in a straight line suddenly made a turn and slashed towards the right. The trajectory was ever-changing, but it also had a natural feeling, untraceable and unpredictable. You can easily control the trajectory of the saber qi with your thoughts, controlling it as you wish. This is something a physical body realm martial artist will never be able to do. Xiaofan nodded. Currently, Xiaofan had also completed the blood exchange. The strength of his flesh shell had increased to 350 cauldrons, which was no small matter. Balls of light burst out of his heart, revealing the follow-up techniques of the Son of Heaven's divine fist, the indestructible golden body, and the 7-fragment saber art. However, Xiaofan was not in a hurry to study these cultivation methods. Now is not the time. Currently, Xiaofan had just entered the true qi realm, and he had yet to infuse his true qi into his acupoints. As Feng Ling had said, Xiaofan had to be cautious during this period of time. He had to find a place to hide and not be killed by humans or the demon clan. Otherwise, he would regret it for the rest of his life. Moreover, Xiaofan still did not know how to combine his martial techniques with his true qi to increase his power, so he was not in a hurry to learn it. Xiaofan focused his mind and sensed his surroundings. The strange thing hibernating in his heart and the demonic monarch palm tattoo on his left arm also circulated slightly. Once he discovered the presence of the demonic race nearby, he would react in advance. But luckily, the place where Xiaofan was at was still safe, and there was nothing out of the ordinary. Right at this moment, boom! 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 The earth shook violently, and sand and dust flew everywhere. Xiaofan looked in the direction of the sound, and saw that hundreds of miles away, divine light soared into the sky, and rays of light rose, and there was a fierce demonic aura sweeping wildly. The battle has started. Senior Brother Feng and the group of demons have started a fierce battle with Demon Emperor Qinglin. Even though he was hundreds of miles away from the battlefield, at this moment, Xiaofan's heart still tightened, and there was a sense of unease. Although I am now in the true qi realm, my offense and defense are weak. Any martial artist in the true qi realm can kill me as long as they infuse their acupoints with true qi. If I encounter the demon generals of the demon clan, I am afraid that I can only die with a grievance. Over there, the divine light is everywhere, and the demonic aura can destroy the world. I am afraid that the flames of war will spread here. I should hide as far away as possible. Xiaofan cherished himself more than ever. It was as if he was walking on thin ice. Immediately, he took a step forward and ran wildly in the vast desert, running in the opposite direction of the battlefield. Shockingly, I feel like someone is watching me. Xiaofan keenly sensed it. He closed his eyes slightly, and a pair of demonic eyes that were like blood moons immediately appeared in his mind, emitting a monstrous evil aura. It's Demon Emperor Qinglin spying on me. Damn it, he must have seen through the shocking secret hidden in my heart. That secret is related to the demon clan. It seems that this demon clan has his eyes on me. It's really unlucky to be targeted by such a powerful demon clan. Xiaofan's hair stood on end, and he immediately sped up, leaving behind a trail of thick smoke and dust in the desert. 4 hours later, Xiaofan ran for hundreds of miles. Looking back at the battlefield, the fierce battle was still going on. Mushroom clouds and tornadoes soared into the sky, and the yellow sand was blown up in tens of thousands of tons. It was as terrifying as it could be. Dangerous, Xiaofan did not dare to delay and continued to run. After running for an entire day and night, he finally stopped in front of a desolate city. Phew, it should be fine. Xiaofan bent down and panted heavily. He took the opportunity to take out a leather bag filled with water from his storage ring, opened the stopper, and greedily drank the mountain spring water that emitted the fragrance of life. That was the water that Fong Ling had prepared for Xiaofan beforehand, so that he could survive in the desert. After drinking his fill, Xiaofan's mind moved. He realized that Demon Emperor Qing Lin's spying had weakened a lot, and was no longer as intense and terrifying as before. Xiaofan heaved a sigh of relief. He considered whether he should enter the desolate city in front of him, rest for a while, and then continue running. At this moment, the strange thing that was hibernating in his heart started to spin rapidly. In the next moment, boom! 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 The yellow sand beneath his feet stirred, and a bloodthirsty demon roar burst forth from the desolate city in front of him. Countless demons surged out from the dilapidated city gate. Heart-wrenching screams rang out, and it was heart-wrenching. Most of these demons were about 1.9 meters tall, and they were in human form. Their brownish-red skin was as hard as steel. With a slight movement, they would let out a long whistle. Their claws were like eagles, their eyes were like wolves, their legs were like toads, and their arms were like pythons. Their aura was surging, and they were violent and bloodthirsty. They were loose demons. There were also a few demon soldiers among them. Logically speaking, with Xiaofan's current combat strength, he should be able to kill a large number of loose demons, or even demon soldiers, with the strength of his flesh shell. However, there were too many demons pouring out of the desolate city. They were as dense as a swarm of locusts, numbering in the thousands. Their toed legs were very strong, and with just a slight leap, they could cover a distance of over 10 feet. Thousands of loose demons surged over like a tide, like tens of thousands of galloping horses. The momentum was extremely fierce. Xiaofan did not dare to continue fighting, and in the end, he was surrounded. Who knew if a demon general would suddenly appear in this demon race army? Xiaofan's life was very precious now, and he could not afford to make any mistakes. It was a tragedy to be buried in the western region desert when he had just reached the true energy realm. Immediately, the storage ring on Xiaofan's right hand flashed, and a single saber appeared in his hand. In one breath, he slashed out dozens of sharp saber chi. The saber chi blasted into the demon army and exploded rapidly, turning into a sky full of saber rain. It was warm, lingering, romantic, and filled with unparalleled killing intent. Pft! 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 Countless demons were shredded by the saber rain. Severed limbs flew everywhere, and demon blood formed a river. Run, don't get entangled. Xiaofan slowed down the demon army slightly, turned around, and ran as fast as lightning. Suddenly, the blood essence of the demon corpses that were shredded by the saber rain turned into rays of light and entered the demon monarch palm tattoo on Xiaofan's left arm. The demon monarch palm tattoo throbbed happily, swallowing the blood essence of the demon race like a whale. It was like a drunkard encountering fine wine, or a lecher entering the ladies' room of a rich family. On Xiaofan's demon monarch palm tattoo, 2 demon veins had been awakened, and he had 200 ding of strength. At this moment, the 3rd demon vein was moving, showing signs of awakening. Xiaofan's sprinting figure paused, and he turned around and brandished his saber. A ray of saber chi slashed out with lightning speed, and it immediately shattered. The broken jade slithered like a snake, and the saber rain blossomed like fireworks, shredding a few more loose demons. It even shattered the left arm of a demon soldier. Swish swish swish, a large amount of demon race's blood essence merged into the demon monarch palm tattoo on Xiaofan's left arm. Suddenly, Xiaohan's left arm flashed with demonic light, and the third dried-up demon vein was finally filled with demonic power. It was crystal clear and pure. Awakened. Not bad. Xiaohan deeply felt the violent power faintly seeping out from the demon monarch palm tattoo on his left arm. His index finger moved, and the saber in his right hand danced continuously. The hand that wielded the saber turned into a series of afterimages. A few breaths later. Boom! A giant saber astral instantly formed. The peerless saber light, sharp and pure, dominated the world. Roar! Countless demons let out frightened screams, and they had an ominous premonition of death. They all stopped jumping and wanted to escape. But it was too late. Die. All of them are nourishment for the demon monarch palm tattoo. This is great. Kill them. The giant saber astral slashed out at a speed close to the speed of sound, destroying gods and demons. PFFF. Everywhere the saber astral slashed, yellow sand was swept up into the sky, and was immediately crushed into nothingness by the saber chi. This saber astral slashed across, and at least 1/5 of the thousands of loose demons were slashed. Endless demon races blood essence surged into the demon monarch palm tattoo on Xiaohan's left arm like a landslide and tsunami. Swish. 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 Demonic light flashed on Xiaohan's left arm continuously. The 4th, 5th, 6th. Another 3 demon veins were awakened on the demon monarch palm tattoo on Xiaohan's left arm. It was a total of 600 ding. Ha ha ha. This is great. This is great. Xiaohan was in high spirits. At this moment, a gloomy and miserable voice came from the back of the demon army. Damn it! Human, how dare you kill my subordinates so wantonly? I'm going to suck your brain dry. I'm going to share your flesh and blood with my subordinates. And I'm going to smash your bones into powder. Boom! A gigantic demon rose into the air and a ferocious demonic wind covered the skies. Everywhere, the wind howled and cranes shrieked in all directions. It was a bleak scene. It was a 10 feet tall great demon with a sharp black horn on its head. Its skin was black as well. Huge tendons that looked like evil dragons were wriggling under its skin, producing the sound of raging waves beating on the shore. Its body was covered with sharp spikes, and every spike was surrounded by demonic chi and lightning. Its thick tail was 10 feet long, and when it swung back and forth, it caused the air to explode. From its body, there was even a faint sound of ghosts wailing and wolves howling. Under the feet of this great demon, there was a blood-red bat that was about half an acre in size. Its canines were as sharp as blades, and its extremely evil demonic chi rumbled like thunder, causing the sky to change color. It's a demon general. Xiaohan's heart skipped a beat. A demon general was equivalent to a human martial artist at the true chi realm. To be more precise, it was equivalent to a human martial artist at the low-stage true chi realm. It was already 3:30. I can't wait any longer. Ask for recommendation votes. Recommend a book, by the way. Chapter 82. That demon general's demonic aura surged into the heavens, his demonic eyes filled with viciousness and brutality. He stood on a bloodthirsty bat formed from demonic aura. Demonic winds corroded the sun, and the mountains and rivers were dyed in blood. Waves of terrifying danger surrounded Xiaohan like a tidal wave. However, the 9 true acupoints in his body trembled slightly, causing Xiaohan's entire body to feel comfortable and refreshed. He no longer felt pressured by the demon general's aura. In fact, Xiaohan's aura was comparable to that of the demon general. Unfortunately, he hadn't cultivated any true chi in his true acupuncture points. If he wanted to fight, he could only rely on his physical strength. Oh! The demon general suddenly froze, then roared. Ha ha ha! It turned out that he was a Jinchi realm martial artist of the human race. However, there was not the slightest fluctuation of Jinchi from him, as though he had just stepped into Jinchi realm and had yet to cultivate. Ha ha ha. What luck! The brains and flesh of human true Qi realm martial artists, TSK, nourishing. It has been a long time since I ate a human true Qi realm martial artist. The demonic aura around the demon general burned even more intensely, filled with greed and killing intent. Right at this moment, die. Xiaofan waved the saber in his right hand, and a streak of saber qi shot out like lightning. The air rippled, and in an instant, the saber light was about to strike the demon general. Xiaofan took the initiative to attack, trying to fight for a chance of survival. However, this saber light, which surpassed half the speed of sound, did not manage to hit the demon general. Its thinking and reaction speed far surpassed that of a demon soldier. Loose demons were also faster than any human mortal body realm martial artist. With a grab of his right hand, a gigantic demonic aura palm appeared out of thin air and grabbed the saber light firmly. Xiaofan paused for a moment. The next moment, bang! The saber light exploded in the demon general's demon chi palm. Jade shards were torn apart, and the sky was filled with a rain of sabers. Pooh! Puff! Puff! Pft! The rain of sabers slashed and strangled the gigantic demonic aura palm, causing a series of explosions and green smoke to rise. Damn it! The demon general was in pain. Suddenly, the bloodthirsty demonic bat opened its bloody mouth, and a demonic chi bullet instantly formed. It was the size of a wash basin, and it rumbled out, exploding toward Xiaofan. The demonic chi bullets had withered the air in the surroundings, creating a gloomy and despairing atmosphere that was devoid of any vitality. The speed of the bomb of demonic energy was close to the speed of sound. A human martial artist at the physical body realm would definitely not be able to avoid it. However, at this moment, the demonic chi bullet, which should have arrived in an instant, seemed to slow down in Xiaofan's eyes. Xiaofan's body leaped forward a few feet, and he actually managed to dodge the demonic chi bullet. Heh! Even though my true acupoints have yet to refine true chi, my thoughts are more than 2 times faster than a physical body realm martial artist. Thus, a strike that seems as fast as lightning is nothing more than an ordinary strike in my eyes, Xiaofan suddenly understood. However, at this moment, he was determined not to continue fighting. He didn't want to use the strength of his body to fight a demon general to the death. If he continued to be in a stalemate, he was afraid that some other problems would arise. At that time, if a few more demon generals came over, then it wouldn't be fun anymore. With just a thought, Xiaofan's body tore through the air. He was already more than 100 feet away. Boom! The demon chi bomb blasted out a scorched land that was several feet wide and several feet deep. Even the gravel was corroded into ashes by the demon chi. It was extremely terrifying. The demon general paused for a moment when he saw Xiaofan dodge the demonic chi bullet and rush over 100 feet in the blink of an eye. Immediately, he let out a sharp roar. Chase them! We must catch him! This is a human martial artist who has just reached the true chi realm. Sucking his brain can increase the quality of my demon chi. We cannot let him go. Moreover, he seems to be hiding some treasure on his body that attracts this general. Kill! With a command, the loose demon army was led by a few demon soldiers. They trampled across the desert and chased after Xiaofan like 10,000 horses galloping. They hopped around like fleas. They were extremely ferocious and the scene was horrifying. Boom! Boom! Another 2 demon chi bombs exploded towards Xiaofan. Xiaofan turned his body and dodged the attack in a slightly awkward manner. He didn't stop and continued to run for his life. His heart was filled with hatred. Damn it! Wait until I refine true chi. I will definitely slaughter all of you bastards. All of you will become nourishment for my demon god palm tattoo. At this moment, rumble. Rumble. Another loose demon army came from the left side of Xiaofan. Their numbers were astonishing. They covered the sky and the sun. They hopped around like fleas and kicked up thousands of feet of yellow sand. It was as if thousands of soldiers and horses were fighting on the battlefield. So many. Xiaofan hurriedly ran to the right. Foolish human, you can't escape. The demon general let out an owl-like shriek. Within 1,000 li radius, all of my tribes are here. You will die. Obediently let this general suck your brain dry. Ga. As soon as he finished speaking, a wisp of air condensed into a peerless saber light. With the speed of sound, like a meteor chasing after the moon, it silently slashed towards the demon general. It was a wisp of saber intent. Peerless sharpness. Cut through the void. Pooh! The demon general tilted his head. However, his face was also slashed by the saber intent. Demon blood spurted out violently. Roar! The demon general howled miserably. The terrifying roar shook the mountains and rivers, crushing people's livers and brains. The demon general was finally furious. The bloodthirsty demon bat burned with a blazing demonic light. Like a ray of flowing light, it chased after Xiaofan, dragging a flaming tail. Soon, the top of Xiaofan's head was shrouded by a dark cloud. The bloodthirsty demon bat appeared above Xiaofan's head and was about to spit out world-destroying demon chi bombs. Personally lead the army. Xiaofan's heart was like a boulder. The Son of Heaven's great power appeared out of nowhere. The air in front of him was split into two and rolled away. With an irresistible force, Xiaofan forcefully tore apart the air. His speed sharply increased as he rushed out. Boom! 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 Several demon chi bombs exploded in the area where Xiaofan had been, leaving behind a rotten mess. Scorched earth spread out, and deathly aura filled the air. At this moment, Xiaofan was possessed by the Son of Heaven's great power. He displayed the Son of Heaven's great power and personally led the army. His speed was like a ray of light, drawing a straight line in the great desert as he sped away. The demon race army in all directions did not give up on the pursuit. Like a stampede of elephants, they faintly formed an encirclement around Xiaofan. While running, Xiaofan raised his eyes and looked around. Yellow sand was flying everywhere. Demonic chi was rising. Within the sand mist, pairs of bloodthirsty demonic eyes appeared. In the sky, the demon general sat on the bloodthirsty demon bat, commanding the loose demons and demon soldiers to surround and attack Xiaofan. The number of loose demons and demon soldiers that participated in the encirclement this time had already exceeded 10,000. It seemed that the western region was very different from the southern region that Xiaofan came from. The southern region was dominated by human countries. The demon race could only stealthily come out to cause trouble. As for the western region, the demon race was too rampant. They even formed tribes and killed people on sight. With so many loose demons, even if I kill them all, my physical strength will probably be exhausted. Furthermore, there is still a demon general eyeing me. This time, could it be that I, Xiaofan, am going to die in this desert? I have just reached the true Qi realm. Am I going to die just like this? I am unwilling. Xiaofan made up his mind. The single saber in his hand buzzed. With the support of the saber intent, the Son of Heaven's great power gradually rose. The demon the arch palm tattoo on his left arm throbbed. Xiaofan wanted to use all his trump cards and kill his way out. However, at this moment, hula! All of a sudden, without any warning, Xiaofan's feet directly sank into the sand. Before he could react, his entire body had already sunk deep into the sand. Boom, there was a wave on the surface of the sand. Not long after, it returned to calmness. It was as if Xiaofan had suddenly been swallowed by a desert monster. What? Sand trap? The demon general in the sky shook his head with extreme regret. The bloodthirsty demon bat also stopped flying. It hovered in the air and flapped its wings. Leader, it's sand trap. That human is dead for sure. A demon soldier below screamed. It is said that in ancient times, this desert was the paradise of the human race. Many countries were established here and flourished for a time. Even today, under the vast yellow sand, there are still many ruins of ancient human countries and some human martial artists' cave abodes. The sand trap is a mysterious spectacle in this desert. It might be a mysterious power buried in the desert that occasionally activates and devours living beings. Whether it is the human race or our demon race, if they encounter the sand trap, they will definitely die. The demon general sounded the gong to retreat with extreme reluctance. At this moment, Xiaofan, boom 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 boom, Xiaofan was directly pulled into the desert by an inexplicable force and quickly passed through the desert. Endless gravel and gravel pressed against Xiaofan from all directions and filled his eyes, ears, mouth, and nose. Puff! 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 The saber chi around Xiaofan's body bloomed and crushed a large amount of gravel and sharp stones that were pressing towards him. His left arm flashed and the demon Thearka's palm burst out with 600 ding of strength. After an unknown amount of time, when Xiaofan was almost exhausted, Xiaofan's entire body suddenly sank into the ground. Sinking. Sinking. Bang! In the end, Xiaofan's feet were in the air and he actually fell somewhere. His feet were steady. It was not sand but solid soil under his feet. Xiaofan shook his head and spat out the sand in his mouth. Then he dug his ears, nose, and eyes, making endless grains of sand. Finally, with a wave of saber chi, he crushed all the sand on his body. When he looked up, Xiaofan was stunned. He noticed that the place he was in was absolutely not a desolate desert, but a primitive jungle that was covered in luxuriant foliage that was full of vitality. The roots of 1,000-year-old trees were intertwined with each other while the vines that were 100 years old coiled around it. Between the trees, there were traces of divine light and precious clouds, bringing light to this dark and mysterious area where the sun could not shine all year round. In the endless light, Xiaofan's eyes could see and he looked left and right in a daze. Xiaofan sensed that the dense spiritual energy in this forest was extraordinary. What? The divine light floating on the treetops is actually vital energy. Xiaofan was shocked. He did not expect that there would be a large amount of vital energy in this area. However, after a slight sensing, there was no sign of life in the surroundings. It seemed that there were no living creatures. Looking up, the top was dark, deep, and sealed. This place seemed to be a world of sand. To be more precise, it was an ancient ruin that was buried by the desert. The bottom of the vast desert is actually a completely different world. That's right, I remember Senior Brother Fong once said that the Western region Great Desert was not a desert during the ancient times, but a paradise for the human race. There were countless martial artists and a prosperous country. Xiaofan walked forward and found that the spiritual energy in front of him was even more abundant. Streams of spiritual energy that seemed to be tangible rose to the top of an ancient tree and formed a spiritual cloud. Xiaofan was extremely curious. He walked around an ancient tree that looked like a palm in 2 or 3 steps. Xiaofan came to a place that was emitting dense spiritual energy. It was an area of more than 10 mu, surrounded by mountain walls on 3 sides. In the middle of the area, there was a lake that was a few mu in size. The lake water was the color of agate, crystal clear, and full of spiritual energy. On the surface of the lake, there was an indescribably mysterious and graceful divine light. Beside the lake, there was an ancient stone tablet. Surprisingly, Xiaofan also found that on one of the mountain walls, there was a complete human skeleton. The bone material was as clear as jade, and there was a faint light emitting from it. This world of sand is really strange and strange. There are actually humans who died here. Their flesh and blood have been eroded by time, leaving behind only a set of bones. Xiaofan licked his lips and walked to the stone tablet by the lake. He raised his head and looked at it. At the same time, a divine light as thick as a thumb, several zhang long, swept past Xiaofan's eyes, emitting a distant ancient aura. It was as if it was the true qi left behind by a true qi realm martial artist in the ancient times. Everything is too strange, too mysterious. P.S. It's going to be published soon. The public version has been updated for more than a month. Every day, I stayed up late, worried, and couldn't sleep at night. Finally, it's going to be published. The time to test the results of a book has arrived. Panic unease. The pressure is very, very great. This Demon God is the second Eastern fantasy book that I wrote. After thinking for a long time, I have many settings and ideas for the later content. However, I didn't write it out, and I don't dare to say that it will be good. However, I hope everyone can read it patiently. I will try my best to create a world full of fantasy and passion for everyone. Then, after it is published, it means that it will be charged. In the past, every time it was published, I didn't specifically mention these things. But today, I want to say a few words. As a writer, especially a full-time writer like me, the livelihood of my family depends on this little bit of writing. Don't be unreasonable, this is my rice bowl, my source of livelihood, and my entire income. I believe everyone has heard a lot about writing recently. Some of his writer friends suffered from serious illnesses due to their irregular lifestyles. There are also some who die suddenly at home. This is indeed a tough job. In the past few years, I have been writing at home after quitting my job, and my body has gained more than 20 pounds. This is a sign of obesity, a sign of suboptimal health. Staying up late for a long time, smoking a lot because of thinking about the plot, my life is irregular, and my meals are also irregular. Forget it, I won't complain. What I want to say is, if you can afford it, you should subscribe and support it. Actually, it's still the same thing, a monthly subscription fee for a book is only a few yuan. Nowadays, prices are so high, a few yuan is probably the price of a small dish. But, this is the basic foundation that I rely on to survive. Well, you can recharge VIP in internet cafes and newsstands, you don't have to use online banking. Everyone can go to internet cafes or Computer City to ask. Okay, see you after midnight. Oh, right, recommend a good book. Chapter 83. Wisps of divine light. True qi flashed past Xiaofan's eyes. An ancient aura pervaded the air. Fishes and dragons danced in the air. It was a marvelous sight. Xiaofan looked carefully, and saw that each and every wisp of divine light true energy was filled with blurry oracle bone inscriptions and hieroglyphs. There were even little turtles that were slowly swimming around them. Of course, Xiaofan understood that the turtles in the light were only formed from true qi. They were not real turtles. Too miraculous. Really too miraculous. Xiaofan clicked his tongue repeatedly. After that, he disregarded the true qi that was like the glow of dawn and carefully stared at the stone tablet by the side of the lake. There were a few simple and unadorned characters carved on the stone tablet, and the strokes were strong and forceful. Earth Vein Spirit Spring. Oh. So this lake is the Earth Vein Spirit Spring. Xiaofan thought to himself, as he looked at the amber lake that was filled with boundless spirit qi. It can't be some kind of treasure medicine, right? Other than the words Earth Vein Spirit Spring, there were some smaller words on the stone tablet. Xiaofan glanced at them. Earth Vein Spirit Spring, Body Refining Treasure Medicine. Bathing in the spirit spring can strengthen bones, wash hair and marrow, rebirth, increase lifespan. So it really is a treasure medicine. Xiaofan nodded. However, it is only a body-refining treasure medicine. For a true Qi realm martial artist, it seems to be a little useless. Also, my indestructible golden body is also a top-notch body-refining technique. The more I practice, the more resistant I get. Heh. Body-refining elixirs aren't that attractive to me. The most important thing right now is to obtain the 8 meridians of true Qi. Once I pour my true Qi into my 9 meridians, my battle prowess will skyrocket. Forget it. I will go over there and take a look. I will come back later to bathe in the earth vein spirit spring. Xiaofan walked towards the human skeleton on the mountain wall. When he got closer, he bent down to take a look. Every bone of this skeleton was emitting a faint light. Moreover, the bones were flawless, as if they were carved from jade. One look and it was obvious that this skeleton belonged to a martial artist. After a mortal died, their flesh would rot and their bones would wither. How could there be such a sparkling ivory skeleton? However, the martial artists who died here must have been dead for a long time. After all, a martial artist's body and internal organs were much stronger than ordinary people's. After death, their corpses could be stored for a long time before they started to rot and wither. As for the corpse before them, its flesh and internal organs had long since been mercilessly eroded and annihilated by the passage of time. Not even dregs were left, and only a skeleton was left. Xiaofan raised his head and saw streams of twilight qi circling around the corpse, as if they were protecting it. Oh! I know! The deceased must have been a Jinqi realm expert, and this should be his abode. The Jinqi swimming around here was very likely the Jinqi he had cultivated before his death, and it had yet to completely dissipate. The earth vein spirit spring in the lake was also a precious medicine left behind by this true Qi stage martial artist. A thought flashed through Xiaohan's mind. AI, but it's a pity, a true Qi realm expert perished here. Thousands of years later, because of the movement of the earth's crust, he is still buried in the sand, unable to see the light of day. Xiaofan felt a tinge of regret in his heart. His gaze shifted downward. Xiaofan saw the right index finger of the corpse extend out, as if directly embedded into the ground. Xiaofan wiped away the thick layer of dried leaves and moss covering the ground, gradually revealing a bluestone slab. There were actually words carved on the slab. Oh! Before this true Qi realm expert died, he used his right index finger to carve words on the slab. It's his last words. Xiaofan immediately understood. Focusing his gaze to read the words. I, Venerable Spirit Turtle, 5th stage true Qi, traversed the western regions, but I did not expect that I would go berserk while cultivating. Medicine and pills cannot cure me, resulting in half of my body being paralyzed. I left behind the earth vein spirit spring in my abode, for those who are fated. This earth vein spirit spring was moved here from the northern regions and poured into the lake. Bathing in the earth vein spirit spring strengthens the body and increases lifespan. But those who are fated must bury the corpse before bathing in the spring. Remember. Before I died, I had already chosen a treasured place to bury my corpse, under a 10,000-year-old fir tree to the north of the lake. I fear it will be disturbed by rats and ants, so I ask those who are fated to dig 7 feet into the ground and bury me. I will reward them handsomely. Oh! Venerable Spirit Turtle? 5th stage true Qi? Xiaofan was taken aback. In the true Qi realm, one would open 1 to 10 true acupoints, which was the first stage of true Qi. The 5th stage of true Qi was the opening of 41 to 50 true acupoints. TSK, opening so many true acupoints. Just how much true Qi can be stored? That's too impressive. As it seemed, the Venerable Spirit Turtle was no simple cultivator. He was definitely something else. He might have been an all-powerful figure in the past. Xiaofan clicked his tongue and sighed. Then, he felt pity for the Venerable Spirit Turtle, shaking his head and laughing. Senior Venerable Spirit Turtle, your cultivation is so great, yet you actually succumbed to chi deviation and died here. Even now, your corpse is exposed in the wilderness. It's extremely pitiful. Thinking about it, Xiaofan carefully picked up the Venerable Spirit Turtle's corpse and made his way to the north of the lake. Forget it. Forget it. Venerable Spirit Turtle, I, Xiaofan, didn't covet your earth vein spiritual spring. It's just that I saw how you, a mighty true chi realm expert, actually died without a proper burial, so I decided to bury you along the way. I hope you know this in the afterlife and help me escape from here and return to the surface. What Xiaofan did not expect was that a mere corpse would actually weigh 1,000 pounds. This indicated that the Venerable Spirit Turtle's body must have been extremely strong when he was alive. One must know that Xiaofan's body was extremely refined. His current body weight, including his flesh and bones, was only 5,600 pounds. TSK, as expected of a true Qi realm great expert. After so many years of death, a few bones are heavier than my entire body. Xiaofan laughed involuntarily. Xiaofan circled to the north of the lake and indeed saw an ancient fir tree that towered into the sky. It was 5 to 60 meters tall and exuded an ancient aura. Digging 7 feet into the ground and burying me? That's nothing. Xiaofan's left arm flashed with a demonic light. The demonic emperor's palm suddenly burst out. A demonic wind filled the air, causing the trees to rustle in all directions. Bang! The demonic emperor's palm slammed into the ground and 600 ding of strength burst out. The palm pierced into the ground. Crack! 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 Cracks spread everywhere like a spider web. In the next moment, rubble flew into the sky and was ground into powder by Xiaofan's saber chi. A huge crater appeared on the ground. Smoke and dust filled the air. However, in the middle of the crater, within the soil, there was a huge stone slab with words engraved on it. Huh! Xiaofan was stunned. Soon after, Xiaofan grabbed the Venerable Spirit Turtle skeleton and jumped into the crater. He bent down and looked at the words on the stone slab. With a single look, his scalp went numb. If thou can see these words, thou art a true gentleman. That earth vein spirit spring is actually the eroding bone water. Once a person falls into it, their flesh and bones will disappear in an instant. Even low-level true chi realm martial artists will find it hard to escape. Ha ha ha. If thou ignore me and take a bath first, thou will die without a doubt. But if thou bury my skeleton first, not only will thou not die, thou will also obtain a great opportunity. Life and death are decided by a single thought. F***ck. Xiaofan broke out in a cold sweat. This Venerable Spirit Turtle is far too scheming. What bullsh** T earth vein spirit spring? So it's fake. It's actually a highly toxic medicinal liquid. Soak in it and you'll die instantly. Fortunately, I didn't jump into the lake in such a hurry. Otherwise, I wouldn't even know how I died. Vicious, too vicious. The more Xiaofan thought about it, the more his heart palpitated. Life and death really were decided by a single thought. Soon after, Xiaofan shook his head and laughed. Forget it. This Venerable Spirit Turtle is scheming all this just to find a fated person who can bury him. As expected of a great expert at level 5 true chi. He's so scheming. He must have been a powerful figure when he was alive. But it makes sense. The world is dangerous. How can a person cultivate to such a high level if they don't have a burning point? Survival of the fittest. Those who are soft-hearted would have been killed long ago. Looks like I'll have to learn more from this Venerable Spirit Turtle. Xiaofan stood in the deep pit for a long time. Various thoughts flooded his mind. Only after quite a while did he gently place the Venerable Spirit Turtle's remains in the pit. Xiaofan jumped up and used the demon god's palm. Like grabbing tofu, he grabbed the soil on the ground and threw it into the pit. Not long after, Xiaofan had piled up a huge grave. He had finally buried the venerable spirit turtle. Xiaofan stood in front of the grave and put his palms together. He bowed deeply and said, "Venerable Spirit Turtle Senior, this junior has already buried you according to your orders. This junior does not desire any rewards. I only hope that senior can allow this junior to see the sky again." As soon as he finished speaking, "I've finally been laid to rest. Thank you, fated person. You are a sincere gentleman. I am grateful beyond words. I've used the natal true chi I've condensed all my life, the spirit turtle true chi, to gift it to the fated person. However, with the passage of time, I wonder how much true chi remains." A desolate and ancient voice suddenly echoed through the dense forest of this underground world. The sound lingered in the air and was extremely strange. This? Xiaofan had never encountered such a strange thing. An ancient person who had died for God knows how many years could actually speak. Of course, Xiaofan understood as soon as he thought about it. Those must have been the venerable spirit turtle's last words before his death. At this moment, "Xiao xiao xiao xiao," the rays of light that permeated the dense forest suddenly shot towards Xiaofan, and with lightning speed, they entered Xiaofan's true meridian. It was as if he had been enlightened. Soon, the first true acupoint was filled up. The second true acupoint was also filled up in a short period of time. Then, the third one. The fourth one. What? This? This true chi actually entered my true acupoint on its own. Xiaofan was surprised and delighted. I didn't do anything. This true chi seems to recognize me as its master. This is too magical, too magical. In the next moment, he sat cross-legged and his mind sank into the pentagram true acupoints that were filled with true chi. Inside each of his true acupoints was a mysterious space that was about 3 meters in length, width, and height. The true chi that was injected was light blue. It was extremely pure and filled with an ancient aura. Dense runes, seal scripts, ancient bone inscriptions, and hieroglyphs could be seen. One spirit turtle after another swam in the true chi. Turtle? Oh, right. The true chi left behind by the venerable spirit turtle is called spirit turtle true chi. I wonder what use this spirit turtle true chi has. Xiaofan had gained something from nothing. Under the circumstances where he did not have to do anything, he had obtained true chi without any effort. This was almost like an infusion of power. It was as if he had picked up a treasure. He felt extremely carefree and indescribably wonderful. Soon, all 9 of Xiaofan's true acupoints were filled up. It was difficult for them to hold any more true chi. However, there wasn't much true chi left in this place. Only 3 or 4 wisps of true chi that were as thick as a thumb and several meters long had slipped through the net. As the true chi in this place flowed away, the plants and vegetation began to wither and wither. The spiritual chi declined, turning this place into a wasteland. Yeah. The venerable spirit turtle was at the 5th layer of true chi and had opened 41 to 50 true acupoints. Logically speaking, the amount of true chi he had condensed in his entire life should have been more than this. It must have been too much time. Most of the true chi must have been destroyed, with only a tiny bit remaining. However, it did fill up all 9 of my true acupoints. That's enough. I can't take any more true chi with me. Currently, Xiaofan's entire body radiated with endless light and splendor. He glowed with jewels and gave off a noble bearing. All of a sudden, a thought was transmitted to Xiaofan's mind: 3 forms of the spirit turtle. Turtle breath. Spirit turtle shell. Spirit turtle slash. It was actually the true chi of the spirit turtle that pulsed in the true acupoints, delivering 3 forms of martial skills. To be continued. Chapter 84. Xiaofan had already obtained the venerable spirit turtle's true qi, so naturally, he had obtained the venerable spirit turtle's martial skill as well. Moreover, with the pure spirit turtle true qi as the foundation, Xiaofan could cultivate these three martial skills as easily as blowing off dust. He could even say that he did not need to cultivate them. He could just visualize them with the spirit turtle true qi and succeed immediately. Xiaofan activated his saber intent and cut off all the distracting thoughts in his mind. His eyes were empty, and his mind was calm. He began to study the three forms of the spirit turtle. The first form, the turtle breathing form, was neither an offensive nor defensive martial skill. It was a special martial skill. Activating the turtle breathing form, one could block all the true qi in one's body and even seal the true acupoints. Not only that, if he exerted his full strength, even his breathing, heartbeat, and blood flow would be concealed, allowing him to enter a mysterious state of suspended animation. If he were to be placed in a metal box, thrown into the ocean, and fished out for 10 days and 10 nights, he would still be alive. The second form, the spirit turtle shell. This form was the essence of the spirit turtle true qi, which was defense. The true qi took the form of a turtle shell, impervious to weapons, fire, and water. Moreover, the spirit turtle true qi was obviously strong in defense and weak in offense. The third form, the spirit turtle slash, was an offensive martial skill. With the sharp edge of the tortoise shell, a sudden horizontal slash could cut through mountains and rivers in an instant. Seriously speaking, the three forms of the spirit turtle might not be a very profound true qi martial skill, but for Xiaofan, it was free, so there was nothing to be picky about. If worst came to worst, he could go back to the pure cloud sect and ask for some powerful true qi techniques. In other words, whether he was satisfied or not, it was a free lunch from the sky. What was there to complain about? He would just have to make do with it for now. Xiaofan had reached the true qi realm at such a young age. He was indeed a genius. The pure cloud sect would not ignore him. 2 hours later, Xiaofan opened his eyes. His pupils were like stars. I finally succeeded in visualizing the three forms of the spirit turtle. Xiaofan looked happy. The next moment. Whoosh whoosh whoosh, countless rays of divine light and precious light gushed out from Xiaofan's 9 true acupoints. Runes surrounded them, and true qi enshrouded them. In the blink of an eye, the true qi took form and evolved into a spirit turtle. This true qi spirit turtle was about 4 or 5 mu in size, which was already huge. It raised its head and swung its tail in the air, its earthy yellow eyes flashing with intelligence. The tortoise shell was covered with ancient oracle bone inscriptions and hieroglyphs, giving it an ancient fragrance. Everything was stable. There was a kind of unbreakable and impregnable feeling to it. I can finally use my true qi to take form. Xiaofan was overjoyed. The spirit turtle is a little ugly. It's not as good as senior brother Fang's flying sword tiger. It's not as good as a serpent, and it's not even as good as a bear. But it was better than nothing. If I hadn't fallen into this place, would still be a rookie without a true cave, constantly on guard to avoid being killed. This was a blessing in disguise. Alright, now think of a way to get out of this place and meet up with senior brother Fang on the surface. Suddenly, a hint of worry appeared in Xiaofan's eyes. I hope senior brother Fang is safe and doesn't get killed by Demon Emperor Qinglin. Right now, Xiaofan was anxious to return to the Pure Rain sect. There was no other reason. The Pure Rain sect's outer sect ranking competition was imminent. There was only half a month left before it would be held as scheduled. Xiaofan had to rush back to participate in the competition. Although Xiaofan had already ascended to the true qi realm, he was still an outer sect disciple and had the right to participate in the competition. Shui Jianfeng. You think you're a genius and look down on everyone. You have a grudge against me, Xiaofan. This time, the outer sect ranking competition will attract the attention of the world. I, Xiaofan, will beat you up in front of everyone. What kind of genius are you? You're only half-step true qi. Now, I can smash you to pieces with a single slap. Xiaofan could even imagine the look of despair on Shui Jianfeng's face when he suddenly found out that his opponent was a true qi realm expert during the duel with Shui Jianfeng. Ha 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 ha, Xiaofan could not help but laugh. The spirit tortoise's three styles, the tortoise breath style, can perfectly seal the true qi and true acupoints, pretending to be at the physical body realm. Ordinary people will definitely not be able to see through it. When I return to the Pure Rain sect, I will immediately seal my true acupoints and keep a low profile. When I face Shui Jianfeng in the outer sect ranking competition, I will forcefully open the seal. I, Xiaofan, will amaze the world with a single brilliant feat. After thinking for a while, Xiaofan prepared to ride the spirit tortoise and forcefully rush out of this place. All of a sudden. Wait! Xiaofan's heart tightened. That strange thing in my heart. At this time, Xiaofan's mind was completely tensed up, his entire body showing great apprehension. That strange thing hibernating in my heart, just what is it? In the past, I was at the physical body realm and could not see through it at all. Now that I've reached the true qi realm, I can completely see the internal structure of my body, like looking at the lines on my palm. Cold sweat had already begun to seep out of Xiaofan's forehead. The major question that had been lingering in his heart had finally been resolved. But instead, it caused his heart to palpitate. The reason was simple. Anyone who had a strange thing in their heart would be fine when they did not know about it, and they would be in a daze for a while. But when the answer was revealed, they would definitely be perplexed. Forget it. Without the strange thing hibernating in my heart, Xiaofan would be a living target for the rest of my life. I would have already been beaten to death by the inner qi realm. This is my fate and fortune. What am I afraid of? Let's see. The blade intent destroyed all the negative emotions in Xiaofan's mind. Xiaofan calmed down. He sat cross-legged. He focused his mind and guarded his body. He looked into his body. Very quickly, Xiaofan entered a mysterious state, as though he was on a mental journey. He saw the internal structure of his own body. Everything was revealed. White jade-like bones, flawless and without any impurities, organs as hard as diamonds, glazed, pure and untainted blood. A torrential flow of air flowed continuously within his body, nourishing him. It was the heat flow of the indestructible golden body. He looked into his heart. At this moment, Xiaofan's heart was beating vigorously, full of vitality. His consciousness seeped into his heart. Gradually, he saw it. He saw the strange thing that had been hibernating in his heart. It was an oval-shaped egg. It was actually an egg. This egg was as lustrous as warm jade, emitting wisps of extremely strong demonic aura, as well as an ancient aura that could dominate the 3,000 great worlds. On the surface of the eggshell, there were densely packed seals. Each seal contained a vast righteous aura that could swallow mountains and rivers. Xiaofan finally understood. There was extremely evil demonic aura seeping out of this egg, as though it was about to hatch some powerful demon, but it was sealed by a large number of seals, forcefully sealing it, preventing it from hatching successfully. However, 3 of the seals had been broken. These 3 broken seals contain traces of the Son of Heaven's divine fist, 7-fragment saber technique, and indestructible golden body. Without a doubt, the 3 broken seals were the initiators of the 3 unique skills that Xiaofan had repaired and perfected. Shockingly, Xiaofan could feel that there was a vague will rolling in each seal on the eggshell, but he couldn't understand what it meant at the moment. The extremely evil demon in the egg also seemed to have a consciousness that Xiaofan couldn't see through. Moreover, this egg and the countless seals seemed to have fused with Xiaofan's heart, as though they had become a part of Xiaofan's heart. It couldn't be separated, unless the heart was shattered. Xiaofan stopped his inner vision. This inner vision consumed a lot of Xiaofan's mental strength, and his face was slightly pale. After resting for a moment, Xiaofan frowned and pondered. So, the strange thing in the heart is a demon egg. Moreover, this demon egg has signs of hatching, and the reason why it can't hatch is because there are countless seals inside. Although I don't fully understand all this, maybe when my cultivation level is higher, my vision and knowledge will broaden, and I will be able to see through the mysteries. But, the demon in the egg is definitely a high-level demon. Once the eggshell is broken, I'm afraid a peerless demon will be born. Is it a demon sovereign? Or a demon sovereign? Damn it, there's a demon egg in my heart. Xiaofan's heart palpitated and his hair stood on end. But there was nothing he could do. Xiaofan's cultivation level was too low, and he was helpless against this. He couldn't possibly let him destroy his heart with his own hands, right? After a while, Xiaofan made up his mind, and the invisible saber intent destroyed all his fear, and he was ready to risk it all. Forget it, I don't care so much anymore. Anyway, the seals on the surface of the eggshell can still hold on. Maybe in 8 to 10 years, the demon egg won't hatch. What I need to do is to become stronger, so strong that I can personally deal with this pain. The fear in Xiaofan's eyes disappeared, and what was left was a rock-solid faith. No enemy, no difficulty, can defeat me, Xiaofan. Alright, let's get out of here first. With a thought, a few divine lights rushed out from Xiaofan's true acupoints, and turned into turbulent air waves around Xiaofan's body, causing Xiaofan's body to fly into the sky. Xiaofan directly stepped onto the spirit turtle in the air. He stood on the turtle shell with both feet and smiled. Go up. Whoosh. The spirit turtle turned into a stream of light, and directly rushed up. The spirit turtle's speed was actually not slow. Of course, it couldn't be compared to Fong Ling's flying sword tiger, which could travel 200,000 li in the sun. But 50 to 60,000 li in the sun was not a problem. However, if it was in the water, the spirit turtle's speed would definitely be faster than the flying sword tiger. The spirit turtle soared into the sky, and soon, endless gravel appeared above Xiaofan's head. Go out. Divine lights surged around Xiaofan, and true energy gushed out. With a boom, the spirit turtle drilled into the gravel, and continued to drill upwards. The gravel in all directions was crushed by the true energy, and flowed away like water. But after a while, pft! The spirit turtle carried Xiaofan, and suddenly rushed out of the sand, completely leaving the world of sand, and returned to the vast desert. The sun hung high in the sky. Unknowingly, Xiaofan had already stayed in the world of sand for a day and a night. Finally, he could see the sky again. The air in the desert was distorted, and the gravel was so hot that it could instantly cook an egg. However, in such a harsh environment, Xiaofan felt like he had ascended to the world of immortals. He breathed in the scorching air to his heart's content, wiped the sweat on his forehead, and laughed loudly. Ha 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 ha. I, Xiaofan, am back again. As he laughed, the spirit turtle turned into rays of light, and entered Xiaofan's true acupoints. In the next moment, the true energy in Xiaofan's body was extinguished, and even his 9 true acupoints were sealed. As a result, Xiaofan looked ordinary, and there was not a single trace of true energy. The light and radiance on his body also dimmed. Now, he was completely in the state of vitality of the physical body realm. This turtle breathing technique is indeed magical. Xiaofan nodded repeatedly. I wonder if senior brother Fong can see through it. I'll find a place to wait for senior brother Fong. Xiaofan looked around, and the demon egg in his heart also sensed the surroundings, in case the demon race appeared. Although this demon egg is nurturing a peerless evil creature, it is also under my control at this moment. Xiaofan suddenly felt a little dazed and confused. Chapter 85. Xiaofan sensed his surroundings vigilantly but did not find any dangerous aura. The yellow sand beneath his feet was rolling like a tide and hot air was rising. Xiaofan knew that there were many unknown legends hidden in this desert. The venerable spirit turtle's cave abode was probably just the tip of the iceberg. I wonder when senior brother Fong will come to find me. Xiaofan was slightly dazed. Then, he stuck out his tongue and licked his dry lips. Why don't I take the initiative to look for some demon tribes and start a massacre? I'll sweep through everything and add fertilizer to the demon monarch's palm tattoo on my left arm. Now that Xiaofan had obtained true qi, his combat power was extraordinary. He might be able to fight against ordinary demon generals. As for the itinerant demons and demon soldiers, he would kill as many as they came. If he went all out, the demon emperor's palm tattoo on his left arm would definitely receive a huge amount of nourishment and awaken demon meridians one after another. It might even awaken the more noble and mysterious demon runes on the demon emperor's palm tattoo. However, Xiaofan was still slightly fearful. Now, when he closed his eyes, a pair of blood-red demon eyes appeared in his mind, emitting an extremely evil and monstrous demonic aura. That was the surveillance of Demon Emperor Qinglin. It could lock one's soul for thousands of miles. However, the feeling of being watched was not very strong. It was very faint and Xiaofan had to deliberately feel it to be able to detect it. Damn it, that Demon Emperor Qinglin is keeping a close eye on me now. It's the sealed demon egg in my heart that attracted it. Although there are countless opportunities in this desert, it's still not safe enough for me at the moment. Once Demon Emperor Qinglin chases after me, I'll instantly die without a burial place. Xiaofan felt a faint chill down his spine. Suddenly, he only felt that it was frightening. What? Demon Emperor Qinglin spying on me has yet to dissipate. In other words, he's still alive. Then senior brother Fong and the others. Just as Xiaofan was in a state of shock, a calm voice came from behind him, Xiaofan. It was Fong Ling's voice. Xiaofan turned around and saw Fong Ling, who was dressed in hemp clothes and had his hair tied up, carrying a sword on his back. At this moment, Fong Ling's aura was extremely weak and his face was slightly pale. Even the sharpness in his eyes was a little dull. He seemed to be seriously injured. Senior apprentice brother Fong. Xiaofan hurried forward to greet him. Suddenly, Xiaohan's footsteps stopped. He saw that within Fong Ling's body, there were 48 pentagram true meridians surging. Divine light flickered faintly, but most of them were dry and withered. After advancing to the Jinqi realm, not only could Xiaofan see through his own body, he could also see through the life force of others. Of course, it might be because Fong Ling was injured that Xiaofan could see through his cultivation so easily. TSK, senior brother Fong has opened 48 acupoints, and his cultivation is at Jinqi realm level 5, close to level 6. He was on par with the venerable spirit turtle. Of course, realms are realms, and battle prowess is battle prowess. The two cannot be confused. Xiaofan nodded to himself. At the same time, Fong Ling's eyes were filled with shock. Xiaofan, what's going on with you? You have clearly opened your Jinqi acupoints and reached Jinqi realm in a single bound. I saw it with my own eyes. But why can't I sense your true acupoint? It's like a pool of stagnant water. Did something strange happen to your body? I used the tortoise breathing technique to conceal all the true qi in my body and closed my acupoints tightly. It's as if I'm secluding myself and not making any progress. I actually managed to fool even senior brother Fong. Xiaofan was slightly delighted. Soon after, Xiaofan smiled noncommittally and changed the topic. Senior brother Fong, you're injured? Has Demon Emperor Qinglin been killed? What about the other fiends? Xiaofan was actually very clear that Demon Emperor Qinglin was still alive. A hint of bitterness flashed across Fong Ling's eyes as he shook his head slightly. Demon Emperor Qing Lin truly lives up to his name as a mighty figure of the demon race. He possesses world-shocking battle prowess and boundless demonic techniques. That apocalyptic demon saber is too demonic. When the saber light flashed, the bewitching saber chi almost sucked people in. Fang Ling's face was filled with shock. This time, if it wasn't for the great Sun Emperor joining the encirclement, all of us would have died in battle. Even so, 5 fiends were killed, and both Great Sun Emperor and Demon Emperor Qing Lin were injured. I was also severely injured by a saber chi. Demon Emperor Qing Lin has already escaped, so we should hurry up and leave the western region desert. Right now, I don't even have a tenth of my battle prowess, and all the true energy in my body is exhausted. If I encounter a slightly more powerful demon general, I will definitely not be able to resist. Fang Ling frowned and said in a low voice. However, my true energy is almost dried up, and I can't transform into the flying sword tiger beast. I have to think of another way to leave the western region. Senior brother Fang, if you don't mind. Xiaofan said hesitantly. I can give you a ride. In the next moment, whoosh 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 whoosh, rays of divine light and haze surged out from the 9 true acupoints on Xiaohan's body. It was a spectacular sight. The strong true energy fluctuations caused the air around Xiaohan to be blown out with waves of gentle ripples. Looking at Xiaohan, his entire body was bathed in the treasure light, overflowing with color. His eyes were like stars, his hair fluttered in the wind, and his clothes fluttered. His temperament changed from mediocre to gorgeous. This. Fang Ling was completely moved. His throat gurgled, and his eyes widened, unable to say a word. Xiaohan immediately unsealed the 9 true acupoints that were sealed, and abundant true energy gushed out. Not long after, the true energy took form, and an enormous spirit turtle floated in the air. Its entire body was shining brightly, and under the scorching sun, it glowed with a bronze color. This true energy is ancient and simple, and it is extremely pure. It must be the true energy left behind by some ancient person. It can't be cultivated by you, Xiaohan. Fang Ling finally said loudly. Xiaohan, what fortuitous encounter did you have? You even fooled me by sealing the true acupoints just now. Fang Ling's eyes focused as he carefully looked at Xiaohan. Immediately after, he was so shocked that he couldn't close his mouth. Xiaohan. You actually opened 9 true acupoints. You just reached the true energy realm, and you broke through 9 true acupoints in one go. You're so young, but you're already so talented. Xiaohan shocked Fang Ling again and again. It caused this peerless swordsman who possessed sword intent to completely lose his composure. Senior brother Fang, let's go. While we were on our way, I told senior brother Fang everything that had happened. Xiaohan chuckled. All right. Fang Ling used his sword intent to cut off the shock in his mind. The divine light flashed on the 2 of them, and a mysterious force lifted the 2 of them into the air and onto the turtle's back. Let's go. Return to the southern region. The true energy spirit turtle turned into a ray of light, broke through the air, and returned in the direction of the southern region. Xiaohan and Fang Ling sat cross-legged on the wide turtle's back, and the true energy around their bodies dispersed the heavenly wind and airflow. Xiaohan told Fang Ling about being surrounded by the demon army, being mysteriously trapped in the underground world, the venerable spirit turtle's cave, and how he was bestowed with cultivation. Of course, Xiaohan would never tell anyone about the secret of the demon egg in his heart, even if he was beaten to death. I didn't think that you, Xiaohan, would actually have such luck. Fang Ling sighed repeatedly after hearing everything. In the cultivation of the martial Tao, talent is important, but hard work is also indispensable. However, the most important thing will always be luck. Some martial artists are geniuses, but they don't have luck in their entire lives, and in the end, they will live a mediocre life. Xiaohan, you really are blessed with luck. You obtained the true energy bestowment of an ancient person for nothing. You've picked up a great bargain. Moreover, the spirit turtle's true energy is extremely defensive. The turtle breathing form is a unique cultivation method. It can conceal true energy, seal true acupoints, and deceive the heavens. It's powerful, very powerful. He. Hearing Fang Ling's praise, Xiaofan also felt rather complacent and could not help but say, "Senior brother Fang, I really am lucky. If I had gone to soak in the earth vein spirit spring first, my soul would have flown away a long time ago." Humph. Fang Ling snorted coldly. That venerable spirit turtle is as crafty as a ghost. Xiaofan, you really are lucky. If you refined true energy and were forcefully bestowed with the spirit turtle's true energy, you would have died a long time ago. When foreign true energy collides in true acupoints, your body will most likely explode. Xiaohan's heart trembled. Senior brother Fang, what do you mean? Could it be that the venerable spirit turtle left his true energy behind to harm others? Xiaofan, normally speaking, as long as you've refined one type of true energy in your true acupoints, you can't cultivate another type of true energy with completely different characteristics recklessly. Otherwise, when the two types of true energy collide in the true acupoints, it would be difficult for your body not to explode. Do you think that the venerable spirit turtle is willing to lose his true energy to someone he doesn't care about after his death? Xiaofan, you've just reached true energy realm, so your true acupoints are empty. That's why you didn't fall for it and instead benefited from it. Fang Ling's lips curled into a cold smile. The martial world is dangerous. Xiaofan broke out in a cold sweat. After a while, Xiaofan finally spoke. Senior brother Fang, the venerable spirit turtle was a great expert at the 5th level of true energy when he was alive. He's no small matter. I'm afraid he's a renowned figure in the Western region. In my opinion, he's just a regular independent cultivator. What, dominating the Western region? That's just boasting. Senior brother Fang said indifferently with some disdain. Below the Immortals is the Fiend hero, and below the Fiend hero are the living beings. Below the Immortals is the Demon hero, and below the Demon hero are all living beings. Xiaohan's heart shook. Senior brother Fang, what does that mean? A regular true energy realm is nothing special. If they're really powerful, they're all demon heroes. Xiaofan, remember, demon heroes are the strongest in the true energy realm. They're chosen through a trial with a slim chance of survival. Killing a regular true energy realm is as easy as blowing away dust. However, Xiaofan, your cultivation is still a little weak, so you don't need to know too much. When you're stronger, you might be qualified to participate in the demon hero selection. Yes. Xiaofan nodded his head heavily. He kept muttering to himself. Below the Immortals is the Demon hero, and below the Demon hero are all living beings. It sounds really powerful. In the next few days, Fang Ling taught Xiaofan some of the most basic methods of using true qi. For example, using true energy to form hands. As for how to use true energy to manifest the Son of Heaven's divine fist and blade Dao, Xiaofan would have to return to the Pure Cloud sect and merge them in seclusion. The day before returning to the sect. Senior brother Fang, we've already left the northern region of the ancient desolation and returned to the southern region. Tomorrow morning, we can return to the Pure Cloud sect. Xiaofan said excitedly. Fang Ling nodded his head. Xiaofan licked his lips. Senior brother Fang, when we return to the sect, I'm going to use the turtle breathing style to seal my true acupoints so that I won't be exposed. My true energy realm cultivation. I hope senior brother Fang can hide it for me. Oh. Fang Ling looked up at Xiaofan and smiled lightly. You want to amaze the world? Yes. Amaze the world. Xiaofan nodded his head heavily. Don't worry. When I return, I'll immediately go into seclusion to heal my injuries. I won't tell anyone, including the higher-ups of the sect. Early the next morning, the true energy spirit turtle finally flew to the sky above the pure cloud mountain range. Compared to the scorching heat of the western region, the southern region had already entered the early winter. The wind was biting cold and it was snowing heavily. The entire pure cloud mountain range was covered in silver. Faint immortal chi permeated the mountain range, contrasting with the heavy snow. Ha 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 ha. I, Xiaofan, am finally back. Ha 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 ha. Xiaofan laughed heartily. There were only 3 days left before the Pure Cloud sect's annual Outer Disciple ranking competition. Many of the Outer Disciples who had been training in the Jianghu had returned to the sect just like Xiaofan. All of them were rubbing their palms together. They wanted to make a name for themselves in the Outer Disciple ranking competition. Chapter 86. The true Chi Spirit Tortoise silently landed on a quiet hill outside the mountain range. In the next moment, the Spirit Tortoise disintegrated into rays of ancient light and was absorbed into Xiaohan's 9 true Chi. Then, Xiaofan activated the Spirit Tortoise style and completely sealed the 9 true Chi. It was as still as stagnant water. Even the rays of light that were as bright as the stars in his eyes were magically sealed. Fan Ling could not see any flaws at all and was amazed at the sight. Now, Xiaofan was just a physical body realm martial artist at a glance. There was nothing special about him. Then, the two went their separate ways. Xiaofan leisurely wandered back to the outer sect peak where he was at. This time, he was in the limelight at the Xiao clan's meeting, but he also encountered the mysterious North Profound Demon Emperor and was almost killed by 3 true Chi realm experts. Then, he risked his life and took the 7 Sun Death Wishing Pill to survive in the midst of death and advanced to the true Chi realm. He fled to the western desert and had a fortuitous encounter, all kinds of trials and transformations, lingering between life and death. Now that he had safely returned to the sect, Xiaofan also felt an inexplicable sense of familiarity as if it was a lifetime ago. Thus, when Xiaofan saw the outer sect disciples walking back and forth on the street, he took the initiative to smile and greet them politely. This made all the outer sect disciples feel flattered. "Senior brother Xiaofan, you're back. That's great. There are 3 more days, and it's this year's outer sect ranking competition. Our peak is relying on senior brother Xiaofan to support us." That's right, that's right. A few days ago, the 3 leaders kept talking about senior brother Xiaofan. Senior brother Xiaofan is now the main character of our peak, the spiritual leader. Every month, the basic benefits have increased from 100 true martial coins to 500 true martial coins. Senior brother Xiaofan, you can do it. This time's outer sect ranking competition, you will definitely be in the top 3. A pink and cute female outer sect disciple said with a blushing face. As she spoke, she secretly glanced at Xiaofan with her phoenix eyes. She was extremely embarrassed. Xiaofan was now supported by all the disciples of this peak. Xiaofan strolled on the snow-covered long street for a while before returning to his courtyard. As soon as he opened the courtyard door, he saw a person sweeping the snow in the courtyard. Who else could it be but Ah Cho? Xiaohan's heart was filled with the feeling of reuniting with a long-lost friendship. "Senior brother Ah Cho, I'm back." Ah Cho hurriedly put down his broom and rushed over to give Xiaofan a bear hug. "Xiaofan, you're finally back. It's great that I'm still in time for the outer disciple ranking competition." The two of them entered the house one after another. Cho boiled water and brewed tea. Then, they started chatting while sipping their tea. Xiaofan observed Ah Chow's life force state and knew that Ah Chow's marrow refinement had already reached a certain level. His meridians were long and his breathing was heavy and powerful. Furthermore, wood rings appeared in Ah Chow's pupils. It was obvious that he had touched upon the essence of the withered wood treasure record. "Ha! Senior brother Acho, you have improved a lot during this period of time. 1,000 li in a day. I think, in this year's outer sect ranking competition, senior brother Acho will definitely become a dark horse. Xiaofan was extremely gratified. Heh. Acho rubbed his hands, his expression was also extremely excited. Xiaofan, maybe it's because of the previous clan meeting, your words and actions motivated me. Furthermore, those 3 true Qi realm experts threatened to massacre the entire city. That feeling of fear and despair caused my spirit to undergo some transformations. All in all, I can feel my improvement. Of course, I don't dare to have extravagant hopes of becoming a dark horse, I just hope that I won't be eliminated in the first round. Oh right, Xiaofan, after we parted at Blazing Flame City, where did you and direct disciple Fang go? During this period of time, your martial cultivation must have improved by quite a bit? It's just ordinary, I just followed senior brother Fang to wander around and broaden my horizons. Xiaofan blew on a tea leaf in his cup. He didn't dare to tell Acho that he had already stepped into the true Qi realm, he reckoned that Acho would faint on the spot. Xiaofan, in short, in this year's outer sect ranking competition, your name will definitely spread throughout the sect and your prestige will spread. The only one who can compete with you is Xiaofan. Acho lowered his voice and whispered. Oh right, Xiaofan, you have to be careful. I heard that Xiaofan and a few direct disciples went to the western region to train and returned with great rewards. I heard that Xiaofan is already infinitely close to the true Qi realm, just half a step away, he can reach the heavens in a single step and defy the heavens. Furthermore, he found an ancient sword in the ruins of an ancient country in the western region. It's a precious weapon, imbued with true Qi, entwined with a turtle and snake, able to cut through anything. Infinitely close to the true Qi realm? Xiaofan casually drank a mouthful of tea, his face full of sneer and disdain. Senior brother Acho, there are countless martial artists that infinitely close to the true Qi realm, but in the end, they didn't cross it. This half a step is not so easy to cross. In the middle is a heavenly moat. As for precious weapons and the like, true experts will not rely on external forces. Strength comes from one's own strength, not relying on any treasures. An indescribable confidence burst out from Xiaofan's eyes. Acho was stunned at the sight. Xiaofang's mountain peak. Xiaofang's side courtyard. At this moment, Xiaofang stood proudly with his hands clasped behind his back. His spirit and aura were becoming more and more detached. Although it was winter, he only wore a thin long gown. His skin was crystal clear, flickering with a dazzling luster. His jet-black long hair was parted down the middle, hanging on both sides of his shoulders. His eyes were in high spirits, like flashes of lightning, concealing a sword intent and pride that could topple a city. Towering like an abyss. It made people's hearts palpitate. On his back was an unsophisticated sheathed longsword. A ray of light that was as thick as a thumb and about 3 meters long was constantly circulating, emitting a draconic hum. The snowflakes that were falling from above were extinguished by the formless sword intent when they were a few feet away from Xiaofan, causing Xiaofang's entire body to be clean, without a speck of dust. He had a feeling that he was about to achieve Dao and ascend. The 4 outer sect disciples stood at the side with their hands hanging down with trembling legs. They deeply buried their heads and didn't dare to raise their heads. Their breathing was rapid as they were oppressed by Xiaofang's aura. Senior brother. 3 junior brothers were sent by you to spy on Xiaofan. In the end, none of them came back. As for Xiaofan, he swaggered back from his secluded cultivation in the deep mountains and old forests. With one move, he crippled Ling Feiyu of their mountain peak, and he also wiped out Gongsun Kang's mountain peak. Gongsun Kang, Zheng Shan, and the others all died without leaving a corpse. Senior brother. I'm afraid that the 3 junior brothers who were spying on Xiaofan have already, already been killed, the 4 outer sect disciples reported while trembling with fear. Humph. Xue Jianfeng let out a cold snort, causing the surrounding air to tremble. The snowflakes that filled the sky seemed to be affected by Xue Jianfeng's anger, shattering into powder and scattering all over the sky. A living target, a lowly dog-like person. Just because he had a fortuitous encounter, he doesn't know his own capabilities anymore. He actually dared to provoke me again and again. He even dared to kill my people. He's courting death. He probably thinks that in this year's outer sect ranking competition, he can slightly contend against me. What a huge joke. As of now, my spirit has already been sharpened to the point of sharpness. Indistinctly, I can feel the barrier of eternal separation between man and heaven. Within 2 years, I will definitely advance to the realm of true Qi. I will ascend to the heavens in a single step. Xue Jianfeng said proudly. The treasured sword on his back let out a cheerful dragon roar, resonating with him and bringing out the best in each other. Forget it, the evil that he brought upon himself is the hardest to bear. In a few days' time in the outer sect ranking competition, this seat will personally slaughter him. A violent killing intent swept out from Xue Jianfeng's eyes. Yes, yes, senior brother is invincible. Senior brother is invincible. The 4 outer sect disciples finally all knelt down, trembling non-stop. Inner sect mountain range. Elder courtyard. In a warm and fragrant room, a young man sat on a chair made of sour twig wood and sipped tea. This man looked to be around 25 or 26 years old. His appearance was very beautiful, and his eyes were pure black, black like an endless abyss. If one looked at them for a while longer, they would have the illusion that they were going to be sucked in. His skin wasn't pure snow white, but it was gentle and exquisite like jade, but warmer and softer than jade. There was a faint haze and light flowing around his body, round and smooth like jade. He was at the true Qi realm. A few elders whose fleshly bodies had reached the pinnacle of the blood transformation realm, but were unable to covet the true Qi realm for their entire lives, were carefully serving him at the side. This year's outer sect ranking competition will be hosted by your inner sect elder courtyard. That man put down the teacup and said unhurriedly. He had an imposing manner as if he was in control of everything. Yes, it must be done in an orderly manner. When the time comes, many true disciples will personally come to watch the competition. There must be no chaos. Yes, yes, young Master Ziyu, don't worry. Our inner sect elder courtyard has consecutively hosted many outer sect ranking competitions. We are very experienced, there won't be any mistakes. One of the elders hurriedly said. Yes. The young man smiled faintly. His temperament was like a high mountain and flowing water, free and unrestrained. This year's outer sect ranking competition has generous rewards. The outer sect disciples are definitely rubbing their palms together, unable to hold back and wanting to fight it out on the stage. What do you think of this year? Young Master Ziyu, this year's ranking, especially the top 3, shouldn't be too different from last year. First place is 99% certain to be in Xue Jianfeng's bag. Xue Jianfeng is a genius that only appears once in 100 years. An elder sighed. This kind of beauty will enter the true Qi realm sooner or later. At most, it will take 2 or 3 years. This seat admires this child Xue Jianfeng very much. He even has a shadow of this seat when I was young. His arrogance and sharpness are things that this seat admires. The young man nodded slightly. A few elders exchanged ruminating glances. Immediately, one of them said in a low voice. Young Master Ziyu, some time ago, a demon-like youth appeared in the outer sect. His name is Xiaofan. This child is also a genius. He single-handedly leveled an outer sect mountain peak. Now, he is in the limelight and will become the biggest dark horse in this year's outer sect ranking competition. If we were to talk about this year's outer sect ranking competition's variables, I'm afraid it would be Xiaofan. However, young Master Ziyu, please rest assured. No matter how demon-like Xiaofan is, his foundation and innate talent are still lacking. He will not be a threat to Xue Jianfeng's position. But Xiaofan and Xue Jianfeng seem to have some personal grudges. Previously, when Xue Jianfeng was engaged to an outer sect female disciple of the Medicine King Valley, Xiaofan actually shouted at Xue Jianfeng in front of him. Huh! The young man's eyebrows twitched, a displeased look brewing in his eyes. Young Master Ziyu, we have already thoroughly investigated. It turns out that when Xiaofan was a live target, he was once beaten up by Xue Jianfeng, who was still a disciple at that time. He vomited 3 liters of blood and almost died. Humph. This year's champion will definitely be Xue Jianfeng. He deserves the title. Whatever dog or cat, don't come and pester endlessly. The young man said with slight anger. You guys go and knock on the outer sect leader of Xiaohan's mountain peak. Even if Xiaofan is a genius, he still needs to abide by the rules. Don't be a noisy guest and steal the spotlight. These 2 days, Xiaofan slept in his courtyard. When it was time to eat, he would go to the canteen with Ah Cho. He also did not cultivate. He completely relaxed and recuperated. There was still 1 day before the outer sect ranking competition. Xiaofan was called to the White Jade Plaza by the 3 leaders. In the White Jade Plaza. 3 leaders, it's been a long time. Xiaofan said with a smile. Xiaofan, how was your training during this period of time? The 3 leaders also laughed and casually chatted with Xiaofan. So. Xiaofan did not say much. Suddenly, the eyes of the 3 leaders revealed a deep grievance and awkwardness. 3 leaders, what's wrong with you? Xiaofan immediately asked. Xiaofan, we all know that you are extremely talented in the martial Dao. You improve at lightning speed, almost monstrous. You are also a natural-born bladesman. You are extremely talented. We all have high hopes for your performance in this year's outer sect ranking competition. However, Xue Jianfeng also improved a lot. He vaguely had the feeling of stepping into the true Qi realm. His every action was a cut above others. Xiaofan, what we mean is that if you want to compete with Xue Jianfeng for the first place, you still lack some foundation. This. Xiaofan, why don't you fight for the top 3 in this year's outer sect ranking competition? Anyway, after Xue Jianfeng becomes the outer sect champion, he will immediately be promoted to the inner sect. Next year's outer sect ranking competition will definitely be yours. Xiaofan immediately sensed that the words of the 3 chiefs were implying something, and they did not mean what they said. Therefore, he immediately said calmly. 3 leaders, don't you want disciple Xiaofan to fight for the first place for our mountain peak? The 3 leaders looked at each other with complicated expressions on their faces. Suddenly, one of the leaders blurted out. Xiaofan, to be honest, the inner sect elders asked us to inform you that the first place of the outer sect this year belongs to Xue Jianfeng. Xiaofan, let me tell you, Xue Jianfeng has curried favor with a few true disciples. No matter. Xiaofan waved his hand. Disciple understands. Please be at ease, this disciple will definitely not make things difficult for the 3 masters. So what if he curried favor with true disciples? I am already in the true Qi realm and have opened 9 true Qi realms. In the entire Fire Beacon Empire, I am probably as rare as a phoenix feather or a unicorn horn. Xue Jianfeng, what do you have to fight me? I want to see if the sect values you, a half-step true Qi realm, or me, a genuine true Qi realm. Xiaofan sneered and left the mountain peak. The next day, early morning. Dong dong dong, from the mountains of the inner sect of the sect, a long and deep morning bell rang. This was to summon all the outer sect disciples to enter the inner sect mountains. Outer sect ranking competition. Begin. Chapter 87. As the morning bell rang in the Inner Sect Mountains, the Pure Rain Sect's annual Outer Sect Disciple ranking competition finally began. Numerous Outer Court disciples that had the ambition to make a name for themselves in the Outer Court ranking competition this time and become eminent were already waiting with their weapons on their backs, and they itched to fight their opponents, causing them to wish for nothing more than to immediately stand on the arena and fight their opponents. They heard that the champion of this Outer Sect ranking competition would be rewarded handsomely. There was news that it would be a top-grade sacred medicine and a true Qi cultivation method. A true Qi cultivation method was definitely not a trivial treasure. Compared to the martial skills secret manuals of a physical body realm martial artist, it was more than 100 levels higher. Not to mention the champion, even the top 3 and top 10 would be rewarded handsomely. Moreover, during the competition, the Inner Sect disciples and Inner Sect elders would all be present. There would also be a portion of true Qi realm experts and direct disciples. If there was an outstanding Outer Sect disciple, they would definitely be recruited and won over. At this moment, the 10 Outer Sect Peaks leaders all brought their disciples and entered the Inner Sect Peak. Xiaofan's peak, the 3 leaders took the lead, and behind them were thousands of Outer Sect disciples. Xiaofan naturally walked at the front, with the air of a leading sheep. Cho basked in the limelight and walked beside Xiaofan, chatting with Xiaofan. This peak's other prodigy besides Ling Feiyu, Meng Ran, walked behind Xiaofan, looking at Xiaofan's back with a venomous gaze. But he did not dare to be ostentatious, much less roar. Ever since Meng Ran returned to the peak, he had heard of Xiaofan's fierce name many times. Moreover, he crippled Ling Feiyu with one move, ruthless and tyrannical, causing Meng Ran to be dumbfounded. Xiaofan, yesterday I heard that the reward for the champion of this Outer Sect ranking competition is not only a treasure medicine to increase the probability of breaking through to the true Qi realm, but also a true Qi secret manual. With these 2 rewards, advancing to Jinqi realm would be a matter of time before he was able to do so. This is a great opportunity. Xiaofan, try your best to be first. If you reach the true Qi realm, I will be proud. In the future, in the Outer Sect's 10 peaks, no one will dare to bully me, he he he. Cho laughed softly. Senior brother Cho, don't worry. I will definitely be the champion in this competition. There is no doubt about this. Those who stand in my way will all be trampled to death. Xiaofan said domineeringly. When the 3 masters heard Xiaofan's bold words, they felt gratified, but also a little uneasy. In the mountains of the Inner Sect. Battle Peak. The peak of Battle Peak was extremely vast, occupying an area of more than a few hundred acres. In the middle, there was a lotus platform that was made up of many arenas. It was 12 stories high. On the highest level, there was an arena that stood tall like a lone mountain, giving off a feeling of being a crane among chickens. There were 2 arenas on the next level. There were 3 arenas on the next level. The lotus platform was surrounded by seats. Among them, there were seats for the 10 peaks of the Outer Sanctum, the participants, the Inner Sanctum disciples, and the Inner Sanctum elders. There was also a seating area, with only a dozen or so seats, covered with expensive beast skins. There were also a few specially selected female disciples serving tea and playing music to serve them. However, the 10 or so seats were still empty, not a single person could be seen. A flood of people rushed into the peak and found their own seats. Although there were many people, it was not noisy. Everyone was solemn and followed the rules, not daring to speak loudly. Xiaofan's peak was also in position, entering a square formation. The 3 managers took out a lot of number tags from their storage rings and distributed them to the disciples who were going to take part in the competition. Meng Ran, this is your number plate. Cho, take your number plate. Cho, this is your first time participating in the Outer Sect competition. I wish you good luck. Don't meet a strong opponent in the first round. Zhang Xiaohua, your number plate. Xiaohan, your number plate. Xiaofan received a palm-sized square plate from one of the masters. It was made of copper, with a number carved on it. 821 N. Xiaofan nodded to the three masters. Oh right, Xiaofan, you're so young, but you're already a genius. You've only entered the outer sect for a year, and you've already achieved amazing martial achievements. However, there's always someone stronger than you. If you meet an opponent who can defeat you, you can choose to admit defeat. That's not embarrassing. One of the masters cautiously reminded. Disciple understands. Xiaofan smiled. After receiving their number plates, Xiaofan and the hundreds of disciples participating in the competition moved to the participant seats. They all sat down and waited for the competition to begin. Ah Cho sat at the seat beside Xiaofan. Xiaofan's face was expressionless. His true qi was sealed tightly, his eyes were plain and unaffected. He even blocked the blade qi. I tried it last night. This turtle breathing stance can not only seal the true qi and true qi, it can even seal the internal organs and blood vessels. The only thing it cannot seal is my heartbeat. Because there's a demon egg in my heart, the extremely evil and strong demon qi seeps out. The turtle breathing stance cannot seal it. Xiaofan thought. Xiaofan, I'm so nervous, it's my first time participating in the competition, and I've always been a kind person with a very good temper, I rarely fight with others. I'm really nervous right now. Ah Cho said in a low voice, feeling uneasy. Senior Ah Cho, don't be nervous. Once you're on the stage, you can use the wooden dragon pillar to attack from afar. If the opponent wants to fight you in close combat, use the withered wood palm. Xiaofan advised. At this time, the participants from the other peaks also rushed into the participant seats. Among the contestants, there were a few who were half a step into true qi. However, Xiaofan didn't even glance at them. After a while, Xue Jianfeng has appeared. Look, it's Senior Xue Jianfeng. Last year's champion. So handsome. So cool. A group of female disciples muttered as if they were infatuated. Only to see Xue Jianfeng in a white robe with a treasured sword on his back. He walked into the participants' seats with a majestic gait. Behind him was a large group of outer sect disciples. All of them had a face of worship. His powerful aura swept through the participants' seats, causing many participants to feel as if there was a thorn in their backs. Those with lower cultivation had cold sweat on their foreheads and their faces turned green. Xue Jianfeng casually sat down. His face was full of sneers and disdain. His gaze turned and looked deeply at Xiaofan. Xiaofan. Xue Jianfeng. Xue Jianfeng is here, such a strong aura. Ah Cho stuttered in Xiaofan's ear. Heh. Xiaofan smiled and did not look at Xue Jianfeng. But he could keenly sense that Xue Jianfeng was observing him. Xiaofan felt Xue Jianfeng's gaze and also felt the killing intent and contempt in this gaze. Suddenly, an outer sect disciple beside Xue Jianfeng glared angrily and growled, Xiaofan. What did you do to junior brother Lin, He, and Murong? How dare you? How dare you attack the disciples of our outer sect's first peak? A heinous crime. Heh. Whose dog is barking here because they didn't look after it properly? Get lost. All of a sudden, Xiaofan turned his gaze over, his eyes bursting with a blade light that was as sharp as lightning, a blade light that could take one's soul away. Puff. The outer sect disciple who scolded Xiaofan felt as if he was struck by lightning. His face instantly turned pale and he spat out a mouthful of blood. He knelt on the ground and trembled uncontrollably. What? Injuring someone with just a gaze. This is too strong. It's Xiaofan. This guy single-handedly raised an entire outer sect mountain peak, causing the third-ranked outer sect mountain peak to wither and decline in a short period of time. He's too powerful. He's truly a ferocious person. He doesn't even give senior brother Xue Jianfeng face. They have shed all pretenses of cordiality. This time, the two of them have shed all pretenses of cordiality. I'm afraid that if we meet on the stage, it will be a fight to the death. There will be no mercy. The participants' seating area was filled with discussions. Xue Jianfeng's expression changed, but he quickly calmed down and looked at Xiaofan with a pitiful gaze. Not bad. In such a short time, he has already begun to change his blood. Furthermore, there is a blade light in his eyes. It seems that his blade cultivation is not bad. He has the capital to be arrogant. If he doesn't die prematurely, he might be able to obtain the qualifications to enter the supreme true Qi realm in another 8 to 10 years. But next year and today will be your death sentence. Xiaohan, you are courting death. He. Xiaohan laughed and did not say anything else. He turned his face away. True Qi realm? You think you have the qualifications to judge the true Qi realm? I'm laughing my head off. Over at the inner sect disciples' seating area, there were many half-step true Qi experts who shifted their attention to the participants' seating area. Naturally, Xue Jianfeng and Xiaohan became the focus of their discussion. Xue Jianfeng's aura is becoming sharper and sharper. It seems that his spirit has been tempered to the point where it can cut through hair with a single blow. Breaking through to the true Qi realm is a done deal. It has been a long time since our Pure Cloud sect had a youth at the true Qi realm. There is no doubt that this Xue Jianfeng has reached the true Qi realm. However, I wonder if he has the possibility of representing our Pure Cloud sect to participate in the Devil Hero selection. The Devil Hero selection is a narrow escape. It all depends on whether Xue Jianfeng dares to participate. Our Pure Cloud sect has been established for tens of thousands of years. We have a deep foundation and many talents. How many devil heroes have we produced so far? Only a handful. You can't say that. According to historical records, our Pure Cloud sect was once prosperous. There was a period of time when we produced many devil heroes. However, they died in the war with the demon race. Alright, let's go off topic. It's just an outer sect ranking competition and you guys are talking about devil heroes. Xue Jianfeng is a genius, but his current foundation is far from being able to compare to devil heroes. It's a world of difference. We can discuss this again when he reaches the true Qi realm. As for that Xiaohan, he's a hidden talent. However, there can't be two tigers on one mountain. He's just unlucky. Sigh. We inner sect disciples need to cultivate well too. We've been stuck at half-step true Qi for so long. We're just one step away. Everyone needs to work hard to improve. Right when the inner court disciples were discussing without end, shockingly, numerous rays of light and auspicious clouds descended from the sky. Endless streams of air surged and transformed into Qi dragons, Qi tigers, Qi cranes, Qi apes, all of them were vivid and lifelike. Heavenly flowers fell. Amidst the red light, more than 10 extraordinary figures appeared. There were both men and women among them. However, they didn't look too old. They all had the appearance of teenagers. In terms of temperament, some were as deep as an ancient well, some as tyrannical as a god, some as calm as the clouds and wind, and some disdainfully looking down on the world. Light surged from each of their bodies, forming a precious glow. The moment these people appeared, they walked towards the dozens of seats that were made of beast skin and served by beauties. True Qi realm. They were the direct disciples of Pure Cloud sect. Welcome, true disciples. A few inner court elders stood up one after another, bowed, and paid their respects. For a moment, the tens of thousands of people gathered on the mountain peak all stood up and sang in unison. Welcome, true disciples. In the contestant seats, all the contestants, including the arrogant Xiaofan, stood up and bowed as well. Their eyes were filled with respect and worship as they shouted loudly. "Welcome, true Qi realm experts." Xiaofan pretended to stand up as well. His gaze swept over, but he didn't see senior brother Fang present. He thought to himself, senior brother Fang didn't come? Looks like he's in closed-door cultivation to recuperate. All the true Qi realm experts sat down. A young man in a brocade robe with eyes as deep as the abyss and skin as warm as jade slowly took a cup of tea from the hands of an inner court girl and said indifferently, "You may begin." This man was young Master Ziyu, who looked highly upon Xiaofan and wanted Xiaofan to take first place. A few inner court elders stood up together and bowed. "Yes, true disciples. Then, this year's outer court disciple ranking competition will begin. RS. Chapter 88. Dong. A long and sacred bell rang. The lingering sound made people feel refreshed and full of fighting spirit. Fellow outer sect geniuses. One of the inner sect elders was a person of virtue and prestige. His cultivation base was at the peak of the blood transformation realm. Just a casual sentence from him would cause his voice to ring out like a great bell, echoing dozens of miles. It was extremely shocking. The scene suddenly became quiet, and a pin drop could be heard. The annual outer sect ranking competition has begun. I don't want to say any more nonsense. You outer sect geniuses are the pillars and cornerstones of my sect. Most likely, in the future, there will be a supreme true Qi realm among you. From then on, you will become the main character of the sect. In the future war with the demon race, you will also shine and establish an indelible contribution. Then, the rewards of this outer sect ranking competition. As he spoke, the inner sect elder looked towards the seats of the true disciples. That young Master Ziyu whispered to a white-clothed young man beside him. "Senior brother, please show us the rewards." The white-clothed man's appearance was ordinary. His body was shrouded in a faint glow, but his face was sickly. His face was pale and he kept coughing as if he was suffering from a serious illness. But in his eyes, there would occasionally be a light like that of a primordial ferocious bird. More than 10 true disciples were very respectful towards this sickly white-clothed man. Cough cough. The white-clothed man smiled slightly. Good, the rewards will be here. I have to say, the rewards of this outer sect disciple ranking competition are the most generous in all the years. As he spoke, swish 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 swish, the white-clothed man coughed and flicked his fingers. Rays of divine light shot into the air. Treasures appeared one after another. There was the precious blood of strange beasts needed by blood transformation realm martial artists. There was the support of true Qi. There were weapons that glittered with treasure light. There were precious medicines that could heal wounds and almost bring the dead back to life. There were martial skill secret manuals. However, the most dazzling were the 2 treasures that floated at the highest point in the air. Among them, there was a golden medicinal pill that was wrapped in divine light. It was the size of a peanut and emitted a surging vitality like the Yangtze River, as well as a mysterious luxury. It gave off a feeling of ascension. The other treasure was even more eye-catching. It was a booklet that emanated a 10,000-year-old cold energy. Within the misty cold energy, there seemed to be a dragon-shaped creature coiling about, letting out roars. It was ferocious and barbaric, spitting out icy mist that no one dared to look at for too long. It was as if he would be frozen if he took another look at it. True Energy Secret Manual. Xiaohan's heart was filled with excitement. When he focused his gaze, he could vaguely see a few words appearing on the cover of the booklet. At this moment, the white-clothed man coughed a few times and spoke with a weak voice. Fellow outer court participants, the prize for the champion this time is an ancient medicine, Transcendent Saint Pill. This medicine was a sacred medicine for breaking through to the supreme true Qi realm. Peak blood transformation fleshly body. If a martial artist half a step into true Qi uses it, they will have a 10% chance of stepping into the true Qi realm. 10%. He had gained 10% more confidence for nothing. This 10% chance might seem insignificant, but martial artists who were half a step into true Qi knew how precious this 10% chance was. Sometimes, when breaking through to the true Qi realm, they only lacked that 1%, or even 5%, to have a sliver of chance. Separated by a sliver, forever separated by heaven and man. Now, not only were the outer court disciples blushing, even the inner court martial artists who were half a step into true Qi felt their throats go dry, their eyes glowing green. They wished they could directly replace the outer court disciples and participate in the competition. But this was impossible. Xue Jianfeng's entire body erupted with a blazing light, the thirst in his eyes as deep as the ocean. 10%. I am actually only 10% away from the true Qi realm. With this transcendent saint pill, I will reach the heavens in one step, transcending mortality and entering sainthood. My life level will increase. What outer court disciples, inner court disciples, in front of me, they will be like ants. I must get it. No one can compete with me for it. Whoever dares to dream about it, I will directly explode with my sword and turn them into dregs. Xue Jianfeng's emotions were also somewhat deranged. Cough cough. In comparison, the second reward is not inferior, cough cough. That is a true Qi secret manual that I found in the ruins of an ancient country in the extremely cold northern region. Hornless dragon profound ice true Qi, once cultivated, the true Qi in the body will transform into cold Qi, freezing mountains and rivers. One can also transform the true Qi into a hornless dragon, spitting out ice souls and blowing out cold Qi, freezing the enemy into ice dregs. Cough cough. The hornless dragon will circle around a small country, and that small country will be completely destroyed, turning into a lump of ice, cough cough. Although the white-robed man had a sickly face and spoke weakly, his weak voice was like clear spring water, seeping into the depths of the person's soul, causing everyone present to clearly hear his words without missing a single word. Ah! What powerful true Qi! With just a little bit of it, it can destroy a small country. The value of this hornless dragon profound ice true Qi is even greater than that transcendent saint pill. If I cultivate this true Qi, whoever dares to provoke me will be directly shattered into ice dregs with a wave of cold Qi. In my opinion, the transcendent saint pill is more precious. Without reaching the true Qi realm, you will not be able to cultivate the hornless dragon profound ice true Qi. You must first reach the true Qi realm, this is the foundation. What's there to compare? Both are saint treasures, and once you become the champion, you can collect both. Many people couldn't help but start discussing. It was in full swing. This time's outer sect ranking competition, the prize was too precious, unique and unparalleled, comparable to the inner sect disciple ranking competition of the past years. TSK, the hornless dragon might be stronger than my spirit turtle? At least in terms of offense, the hornless dragon profound ice true Qi will definitely surpass the spirit turtle true Qi. Xiaofan was also moved. Cough cough, the competition begins. The white-robed man kept coughing. The inner sect elder announced the official start of the competition. In an instant, rays of divine light surged, completely enveloping the lotus platform. It was a spectacular sight. This was to prevent people outside the stage from interfering with the competition. This layer of divine light screen isolated external objects. It allowed the contestants to fight in peace. Next, a few inner sect elders began to look at the number plates of the outer sect disciples, announcing the match. One by one, the outer sect disciples rushed onto the stage and started fighting. Xiaohan, Huang Hu. Get on the stage. Xiaohan heard an inner sect elder announce that it was his turn to fight. Immediately, Xiaofan jumped onto one of the stages at the bottom of the lotus platform. Xiaofan stood motionless on the stage. His opponent was a young, sturdy man at the peak of the blood transformation realm, half a step into true qi. He held an iron rod in his hand, and the surging strength qi transformed into a fierce tiger, choosing its opponent to devour. Xiaofan, although you have been in the limelight recently, you will lose when you meet me. You probably don't know, but in the last outer sect disciple ranking competition, I, Huang Hu, was ranked 6th. I have to say, your luck is terrible. You actually met me, Huang Hu, in the first round. You should admit defeat now. If you fight, you might have to break your arms and legs. I, Huang Hu, don't make a move, but once I do, I will definitely hurt you. You better think thrice. The sturdy man laughed sinisterly. You talk too much nonsense, get down. Xiaofan waved his right hand lightly, and the peerless blade light flashed violently. Pooh! Huang Hu did not even have time to react, and his chest was cut open, dripping with blood. It was at least a foot long, and the bone could be seen. He flew backwards, vomiting blood continuously. Instant kill. It was like swatting a fly. Now that Xiaofan had reached the true qi realm, even if he sealed his true qi, and did not use any true qi, his thinking speed was already much faster than a physical body realm martial artist. After a few days of rest and relaxation, he had faintly comprehended through a comprehensive study. His hand blade could now slash out 320 times in a breath, infinitely close to the speed of sound. The power of the blade qi was violent, killing people and ghosts. With just a slight slash, he could tear a wild beast apart. Furthermore, the strength of his flesh shell had reached 350 cauldrons. Among the physical body realm martial artists, at least in the Beacon Fire Empire, there were few who could match him. After sending his opponent flying, Xiaofan casually jumped off the stage. The outer sect disciples on Xiaofan's peak cheered thunderously. The three heads exchanged looks, their eyes filled with shock and incomparable gratification. Direct disciple seating area. Oh! This Xiaofan is a dark horse that suddenly emerged. He hid his strength and bided his time. At the crucial moment, he defeated his opponent in one move. The opponent he defeated was ranked 6th in the previous tournament, and he actually killed him in one move. Interesting. A green-robed man circulated his true qi, forming a nebula whirlpool above his head, and evaluated. This kid is not a match for Xue Jianfeng. Some time ago, I personally brought Xue Jianfeng to the western region desert to hunt the demon race. Xue Jianfeng single-handedly killed dozens of loose demons and a total of 7 demon soldiers. His sword intent has already reached the small success stage and is nearing the middle stage. Killing those of the same realm is as easy as drinking water and eating. He is invincible in the physical body realm. Young Master Ziyu said proudly. Immediately after, he took a deep look at Xiaofan, and the depths of his eyes were filled with disgust. That white-robed man coughed while looking at Xiaofan. His sharp eyes that were like that of an ancient ferocious bird revealed an expression of contemplation. Senior brother, what do you say? You also know what it means to have a sword intent nearing the middle stage. Young Master Ziyu respectfully asked the white-robed man. Ziyu. The white-robed man coughed, and the contemplation in his eyes became more and more intense. This time's outer sect ranking competition might be really interesting. Don't say anything first, let me take a closer look. After speaking, he stared at Xiaofan without blinking. For Xiaofan, the following matches were almost completely ignored by the process. Once on the stage, the opponent would either automatically admit defeat or be knocked off the stage by Xiaofan in one move. Ah Cho did not let him down, and his luck was very good. He won 2 rounds. In the 3rd round, he encountered a great expert who was ranked 3rd in the previous tournament, and Ah Cho tactfully admitted defeat. Xue Jianfeng's battle situation was almost the same as Xiaohan's. Outer sect disciples who faced Xue Jianfeng, 90% of them immediately admitted defeat and quit, cursing their bad luck. When Xue Jianfeng fought against the previous tournament's second-ranked opponent, his hands were behind his back, his expression was as calm as water, and he did not even draw his sword. In the air, a strand of sword chi slashed out, destroying nothingness, and left a sword scar on his opponent's chest, unfathomable. Xue Jianfeng. I didn't think that your sword intent had reached such a level. You are more than several times stronger than last year. I wholeheartedly accept my loss. The previous tournament's second-ranked expert covered the sword wound on his chest and retreated from the stage. One sword instantly defeated the previous tournament's second-ranked existence. His methods were practically invincible. The matches proceeded without any surprises. Those who should have won, and those who shouldn't have won did not cause any surprises. Moreover, Xiaofan and Xue Jianfeng's unparalleled sharpness had already covered up the other participants, causing the other participants to be incomparably dim and mediocre. The first battle of the top four. Xue Jianfeng, against Xiaofan. The inner sect elder announced with a trembling voice. Xiaofan and Xue Jianfeng actually encountered each other in the top four battle. This was simply the finals that were staged in advance. The entire arena instantly quietened down. Even a pin drop could be heard. Like a cicada in winter. One was the champion of the previous tournament's outer sect ranking competition. His sword intent was unparalleled, and he soared through the clouds. A single sword from the west subdued the world, and he was favored and nurtured by numerous true Qi realm experts. The other was a rising star that had emerged this year. He was a living target, and after a fortuitous encounter, he rose like a comet, overflowing with tyranny, and single-handedly destroyed a peak. Even the direct disciple seats had quietened down. Xiaohan and Xue Jianfeng jumped onto the stage. The two of them faced each other from afar. Their gazes clashed in the air, and the atmosphere was filled with gunpowder. Xiaohan, I didn't expect you to reach this step. Xue Jianfeng looked at Xiaohan with a condescending gaze, and said coldly. However, this is the end of it. Your life has also come to an end. You, this person, is extremely foolish, and has no subtlety. Just a little fortuitous encounter, and you come out to clamor, jumping around. You are a despicable person intoxicated by success, and you will die without a doubt. If you knew how to endure, you might have lived a little longer, but, forget it, geniuses will always be geniuses, and trash will always be trash. Today, this seat will let you experience the breathtaking power of a genius. Kang! The long sword on Xue Jianfeng's back, as if it had a life of its own, jumped out, and was held in Xue Jianfeng's hand. The blade was like autumn water, and a divine light surged, shining brightly. This unparalleled divine light contrasted with Xue Jianfeng's handsome face, and his arrogant face, bringing out the best in each other. Begin. Xue Jianfeng's killing intent sword. Since you can make me draw my sword, you will die a worthy death. Begin. Xiaohan was stunned, and immediately laughed out loud. Ha 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 ha. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. Begin? There's no need to begin. It's over. Completely over. Everyone was stunned, and did not understand what Xiaohan was saying. What ended? Could it be that he wanted to admit defeat? At this moment. Boom! Rays of dazzling divine light burst out from Xiaohan's body, and a berserk true energy surged, causing Xiaohan's body to float in the air. Xiaohan's entire body was bathed in the divine light, and his aura was like that of a deity. His hair moved without any wind, and his clothes billowed like waves. He looked down at Xue Jianfeng in the air, as if he was looking at an ant. The seals of the 9 true treasures were undone at the same time. You're right. A genius will always be a genius, and trash will always be trash. Shui Jianfeng, in front of me, you're just a dog. Oh, no, dog shit. Xiaofan laughed sinisterly. In his heart, he chanted. Xiaofan, in the past, you were a live target, and you were smashed to pieces by this guy's fist. Now, I will avenge you. Do you see that? Everyone in the audience stood up. Their throats were choked up, and they gurgled. Even their breathing stopped. In the seats of true disciples. What? What's this? What's going on? What's going on? Young Master Ziyu's face was pale. It's the true Qi realm. Heavens! Xiaofan is at the true Qi realm. Unbelievable. Let me see, let me take a closer look, I can't make a mistake. A true Qi realm not even 20 years old. Cough cough, this is a shocking matter. Immediately report it. Quickly. The white-robed man coughed as he spoke to a true Qi realm disciple. You immediately report this matter to the sect master. Go now. Go now. Our sect has produced another peerless beauty, it's time for revenge. Does everyone enjoy watching this? Today's monthly tickets are few and far between, and I've been blown to the ground. I'm crying for monthly tickets to be comforted. Thank you. RS. Chapter 89. The scene was shocking. A true Qi realm cultivator actually managed to sneak into the outer sect ranking tournament. An outer sect disciple who had reached the true Qi realm sealed his true Qi and concealed it from all the true disciples. Then, he displayed his prowess and amazed the world with a single feat. This was something that had never happened before in the history of the Pure Cloud sect. According to historical records, there had only been 1 or 2 instances in the history of the Pure Cloud sect. During the inner sect ranking tournament between disciples who were half a step into the true Qi realm, there had been a person who had reached the heavens in a single step. Amidst the intense battle, there had been an epiphany and advanced to the true Qi realm. It was a feat that was worthy of being recorded in the annals of history. However, it was unprecedented for something like this to happen in the outer sect ranking tournament. Shui Jianfeng's face turned pale in an instant. The innate arrogance and condescension on his face froze like a clumsy mask. His entire body was trembling because of fear, because of dignity, because of unwillingness, because of jealousy. Jejij, Shui Jianfeng was like a little chick that had its throat pinched. He let out jejij sounds but was unable to speak. Why? Why is it like this? Why is it that I, Shui Jianfeng, am a genius who advances at a tremendous pace in the martial Tao, am unable to break through the shackles of my body and reach the true Qi realm? And a living target, an extremely lowly person, actually reached the true Qi realm in a single step? Back then, I was able to shatter this living target with just a single punch from me. I was able to trample on his head and trample on him. But a few years later, my position has actually been reversed. He has reached the true Qi realm while I am just a mortal. How did this happen? Astonishingly. Why? I, Shui Jianfeng, refuse to accept this. I refuse to accept this. Shui Jianfeng finally roared. His voice was extremely bitter and desolate. As for Xiaofan floated in the air, surrounded by strands of divine light and auspicious clouds. He looked like a deity. And every strand of light was as heavy as a mountain. It was genuine true Qi. A few strands of true Qi floated above Shui Jianfeng's head. In an instant, crack crack crack, all of Shui Jianfeng's bones suffered a mountain-like pressure. His knees went soft, and he was about to kneel down. No! Shui Jianfeng roared. Sword Qi surged all over his body, and his muscles, bones, skin, flesh, and blood vessels all sprang up as he forcibly held on. Ha ha ha, kneel down. Xiaofan pointed his right index finger at the air. Pa! Xue Jianfeng was instantly unable to bear the heavy burden, and he forcefully knelt down with a thump. Sure enough, all are ants beneath true energy. I now deeply understand this principle. The spirit turtle's true qi in each true acupoint of mine is roughly equivalent to 1,000 cauldrons of strength. 9 true acupoints can store 9,000 cauldrons of strength. And how much power could a physical body realm martial artist have? Xue Jianfeng's fleshly body strength is about the same as mine, which is around 300 to 400 ding. Under the suppression of a force of 9,000 cauldrons, a force of a few hundred cauldrons was simply too weak and insignificant. It exploded in an instant. Xiaofan indifferently said as he looked down at Xue Jianfeng, who was kneeling on the ground, with a transcendent mental state that surpassed any physical body realm martial artist. Alright, it's all over. The next moment, endless rays of light and divine radiance began to merge, gradually revealing the embryonic form of the spirit turtle, in the seats of the direct disciples. Xiaohan's true energy is simple and unadorned, with traces of time. It seems like the true energy left behind by the ancient people has been obtained by him. The white-robed man nodded continuously and coughed lightly. His eyes were filled with joy. Our Pure Rain sect has produced another true Qi realm martial artist. This is a joyous occasion. The sect master would definitely be very happy. How long has it been since a new true Qi realm martial artist has appeared? But young Master Ziyu's face was filled with sweat. Senior brother, please stop the massacre. I have spent a large amount of effort and resources to nurture this Xue Jianfeng. Furthermore, in a year and a half, he will be able to break through the barrier and step into the true Qi realm. At that time, he will also be a talent. Senior brother, you cannot let him die in the hands of Xiaohan. Xiaohan was just lucky. Senior brother, you have seen it for yourself. Xiaohan's true energy was not cultivated by himself. Instead, it was imparted to him. Ziyu, you must remember. Luck will always belong to the truly strong. Even if the weak are blessed with luck, they will not be able to enjoy it. Don't say any more. Between Xiaohan and Xue Jianfeng, there must be an irreconcilable feud between them. We cannot break the rules of the competition just because of a half-step true Qi. Half-step true Qi and true Qi realm, which is more important, I believe everyone is very clear in their hearts. The white-robed man said indifferently. If Xiaohan wants to kill Xue Jianfeng, then let him. Because Xiaohan is in the true Qi realm and Xue Jianfeng is not. It is only possible that Xue Jianfeng will step into the true Qi realm in the future, but it is not absolute. The direct disciples present all nodded their heads. At this moment, on the stage, an enormous bronze-colored tortoise had already taken form and landed on the stage. It was as majestic as a mountain, its enormous body occupied half of the stage. It raised its head and swung its tail, stomping on the ground as it approached Xue Jianfeng. Dong 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 dong, the tortoise's feet stomped on the stage, emitting a thunderous sound. The entire stage shook and cracks appeared. No, no, no. Xue Jianfeng kept on retreating, his eyes finally revealing an expression of fear and despair. Don't kill me. Xiaohan. Don't kill me. The past between us will be written off once and for all. Please let me go. I cannot die. I have already touched the doorstep of the true Qi realm. Even if I die, I will not be able to rest in peace. Xiaohan, please don't kill me. Xue Jianfeng finally began to plead. Oh. The past between us will be written off once and for all? It seems that you still do not understand the situation. Xiaohan sneered. Dong dong dong, the tortoise forced Xue Jianfeng to the edge of the stage, its huge shadow covering his body. Ah. I admit defeat. I admit defeat. At the same time, enough. Young Master Ziyu made a grabbing motion with his right hand. His 5 fingers were like fire dragons. Endless rays of light and divine rainbows surged. 5 fire dragons as thick as water buckets were filled with awe-inspiring divine might. There was nothing they couldn't burn as they shot out explosively towards the divine light screen outside the arena. Presumptuous. A trace of anger flashed past the eyes of the white-robed man as he waved his right hand casually. PFFF. A black feather flashed past and cut the 5 fire dragons in half. Endless sparks and lava splashed all over the ground. In the next moment, the white-robed man's eyes were like a primordial ferocious bird. The sickness on his body disappeared without a trace, and his aura surged violently. His body seemed to grow infinitely, and a giant black bird flashed past his eyes. Ziyu, you are too presumptuous. You actually interfered in the match. More than 10 direct disciples were shocked at the same time and retreated as they spoke. Senior brother, please calm down. Senior brother, please calm down. Young Master Ziyu's eyes were also filled with horror. His body turned cold as he lowered his head deeply. Senior brother, please calm down. Ziyu has lost his composure. On the stage, no. Xue Jianfeng let out a miserable howl. His upper body was already in the mouth of the tortoise, and it was lightly bitten. Crack, he was bitten into 2. Blood spurted wildly, and he couldn't be more dead. I finally got my revenge. Awesome. Xiaofan nodded slightly. Immediately after, the tortoise disintegrated into rays of light and divine rainbows, merging into Xiaohan's 9 true acupoints. Xiaofan jumped down from mid-air, tidied his robe, and walked down the stage. At this time, Xiaofan no longer deliberately sealed his true acupoints. Rays of divine light floated on the surface of his body, and he was as dazzling as the stars. On the seat of Xiaohan's peak. No. It can't be. True Qi realm. Xiaofan. Xiaofan is actually in the true Qi realm. This can't be wrong, right? One of the managers rubbed his eyes. Another manager stuttered and asked Ah Cho who was beside him. Ah Cho, how did Xiaofan reach the true Qi realm in a single step? You should know about this, right? You are on good terms with Xiaofan. Perhaps you know his secret. Good, Xiaofan hid it from us for so long. Three managers, this disciple also didn't know about this. Ah Cho's face was filled with surprise and joy. That's right. Senior brother Fang might have trained Xiaofan. Senior brother Fang? The 3 managers were stunned. Oh, it's our pure cloud sect senior brother Fang. He uses a sword, and his entire body's sword qi bloomed like a lotus, Ah Cho added. Evil hero Fang Ling, one of the 4 evil heroes of our pure cloud sect. He is known as the strongest sword cultivator in the history of pure cloud sect. The 3 managers looked at each other. To us, this kind of person is almost a legend. I didn't expect him to admire Xiaofan. What a great fortune. What a great fortune. Xiaohan's rise is unstoppable. Another true inheritance. Ha ha ha, I didn't expect it to come from our peak. Glory. This is the greatest glory of our peak. It will be recorded in the history books. There was no need to compete in the following finals. Xiaohan's life force surpassed all the outer sect disciples and inner sect disciples. He became the champion of the outer sect ranking competition, which was what everyone expected. The prizes were given out. The top 10 of this competition all received all kinds of precious medicines, precious weapons, and martial skills and secret manuals floating in the air. Finally, only the Transcendent Saint Pill and the Hornless Dragon Profound Ice True Qi were left in the air. 2 supreme treasures. Cough cough. The white-robed man stood up and waved his hand at Xiaohan. Xiaohan, right? Come here. Oh. Xiaofan paused for a moment before slowly walking over. The demon egg in his heart and the tattoo of the demon emperor's palm on his left arm were deeply hidden like dust, unnoticeable. Senior brother, Ziyu isn't feeling well. I'll take my leave first. Young Master Ziyu gave Xiaofan a deep look before turning into a ray of light and disappeared in an instant. Xiaofan walked in front of the white-robed man. With a little observation, he saw that the white-robed man's body was shining with a total of 55 pointed stars. The stars were floating and the true qi was dense. This is a big shot. He opened a total of 50 true meridians and is at the peak of the 5th level of true qi. If he opens another true meridian, he will step into the 6th level of true qi. Even senior brother Fang has only opened 48 true meridians. His cultivation level is even higher than senior brother Fang's. Xiaofan silently thought. Not bad at all. Very impressive. The white-robed man looked at Xiaofan amiably. A friendly smile flashed across his ferocious bird-like eyes, but he had already seen Xiaofan's state of vitality. Xiaofan, you just stepped into the true qi realm, right? Did you open 9 true meridians in one go? The group of true disciples looked at Xiaofan curiously. Yes, everyone. Senior brothers, I just entered the true qi realm and opened 9 meridians. I also had a fortuitous encounter and obtained spirit turtle true qi from an ancient person's cave. Xiaofan admitted. What? Just entered the true qi realm and opened 9 meridians in a row? How enchanting. Comparisons are odious. When I first entered the true qi realm, I only opened 4 true meridians, not even half of junior brother Xiaofan's. I reached the true qi realm at the age of 21. Junior brother Xiaofan should be around 16 or 17 years old. My talent and willpower cannot compare to junior brother Xiaofan. Now, these true disciples all addressed Xiaofan as junior brother. It was as if they were of the same generation. But it made sense. Xiaofan was also at the true qi realm now, so becoming a true disciple was a certainty. Junior brother Xiaofan, your aptitude is very good. To be able to open 9 true meridians in one go is extremely rare in the entire Beacon Fire Empire. You might even become a hero in the future. The white-robed man's eyes were filled with admiration and admiration. Junior brother Xiaofan, I am Dongfang Qin, the second senior brother of this generation's true disciples of the Pure Cloud sect. You can call me Senior Dongfang. Heh. This true qi that you obtained is truly a unique path. It can conceal your presence so well that even I was fooled by you. Amazing. Second senior brother? Xiaofan was startled and blurted out. What about senior brother Fang Ling? Oh. Junior brother Xiaofan, you know junior brother Fang? He is this generation's true disciple of the Pure Cloud sect and is ranked 3rd. Dongfang Qin said with a pleasant expression. Alright, junior brother Xiaofan, go and see the sect master now. If he knows that our Pure Cloud sect has such a talented youth like you, he will definitely be overjoyed. Dongfang Qin smiled and waved his right hand. The transcendent Saint Pill and Hornless Dragon Profound Ice True Qi had already fallen into his hands. Junior brother Xiaofan, this is your reward. Dongfang Qin smiled. Many thanks, senior brother Dongfang. Xiaofan received the pill and True Qi manual with both hands. He licked his lips and immediately stored the 2 treasures into his true meridians. Now that Xiaofan had opened his true meridians, the storage ring was useless. All the items could be stored in the true meridians and soaked in true qi. Let's go and see the sect master now. Junior brother Xiaofan, you will soon have your own mountain peak and cave residence. Your status will soar and you will become a core true disciple of the Pure Cloud sect. You will truly ascend to the heavens in a single bound. See the sect master? See the current sect master of the Pure Cloud sect? Oh my god! That is a legendary super expert. I, Xiaofan, am actually able to see him. Xiaofan only felt that everything was like a lifetime ago. The once living target, a lowly person, had finally soared to the heavens. Heh! I finally have the chance to explore this mysterious and endless world and the unknown future. You're tuning into the Xiaofan's Wuxia Tales YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.